stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When that's enough, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When that's enough, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham away. Tottenham get battered. I'm sick of hearing that song. I'm sick of hearing that. Spurs have lost 2-0 away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. A depleted Chelsea side, a pretty much fully fit Spurs side, except for Udogie. And there's so much to talk about. It was not good. It was not acceptable. And before we get going, I just want to say one thing, right? Anyone that wants to call me out and anyone that questions me, I'm just going to get this off my chest off the bat. 17 managers in 24 Levy years. 7 football directors in 24 Levy years. A brand new £1 billion under Daniel Levy. A new training facility, academy facility under Daniel Levy. Record income, a new hotel, luxury apartments coming. Fuck all has changed. Because we haven't changed one thing. I am 100% Levy out, and all the blame lies on him at the end of the day. Don't ever doubt my position on this. That doesn't mean I can't question the managers and players as well. And we are going to question them. But I am Levy out. Don't ever forget that. I had to say that because some people have been saying to me, why are you going after Ange? You know there's a bigger problem. mate, there's a lot of problems. Let's quickly go around. Everyone can say hello and just a quick, just how you feel. Keep it short so we can get into it. But JP, man, that stank tonight, man. That really stank, in my opinion.
Do you know what? Just when you think it can't get any worse, and then it goes to the next level. We obviously went up to Newcastle. That was absolutely dire. Weekend, Arsenal. And now you go Chelsea, spent £500 million. They're 8th in the league or 9th or wherever they were. Literally 14 players out, right? And we got slapped. Same thing, same record. It's just like a frigging merry-go-round. It's like, if the players are checked out, and I know we had a chat about this just now, and the players seem checked out, do you know what? I'm pretty numb to it now, so sod it.
Iggy.
I'm far from numb from it, to be personally honest with you. You're right. We were just saying backstage that at Newcastle, I saw a team that was checked out, and I've not seen anything different in the last couple of games. A little bit of a reaction against Arsenal, yes, I saw that. But tonight we're back to normal again. No different tonight than what I saw against Newcastle. A team has checked out for the season. I won't be wasting my Greek Easter this Sunday watching them against Liverpool. As simple as that. A team, you can talk to me about tactics. You can talk to me about managers. You can talk to me whatever you want. Fundamentally, the basics were missing. And that is the fight, to play with intensity and to play with desire. I saw none of it. So it doesn't matter who you play. It doesn't matter what formations you play. If that's not there, you're not going to win another game of football this season. Purely on that alone. By the way, good evening, everyone, and good evening to everyone in the chat. But this is anything but a good evening for me personally, man. It's just diabolical. Is it a shock? No, because I've seen nothing in the last couple of games to make me think that there was going to be anything different. You just think, at the very minimum, given that they're both London teams, you would have seen an element of pride in their football. A few crunching tackles going in, but we didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that, and I don't know how we're going to win another game of football. Like I said, if those fundamentals are missing, and it's tonight I saw Ange Postecoglou. I said it before we came on. He looked very beaten in the post match. I saw him very animated during the match, digging players out. Digging players a bit because I think he's there now. Maybe I think he was brewing, but he said it himself. There's players there that are not following the way he wants to play football. I don't know if they have. I don't know what the issues are. If they don't believe in it, maybe.
Iggy, we'll get into it. I just want to give everyone. I just want to give everyone a quick minute just to.
Get it off the chest. I did that in 59 seconds. What are you talking about?
Double check that.
59 seconds.
Dan, short and sweet. Just how you feel,
well,
man. We'll get proper into it.
Be as good as you are. Basically, that's all I can say to this. Is same Spurs, same tactics, different game. Different team, same tactics, different game. They've done us the same way that the other past teams have done us, and what else can you say to it? It is what it is. Something's definitely not working, and it's not just the players, it's not just the manager, but I'd have thought we could have given them a decent game, even squeezed a 2-2 on how poor they've been, but it's just same Spurs, different game, isn't
it? Yeah, Charlie?
I don't know what to say really, man. My friend, I was taking my friend to hospital. We were there for like bloody 3 hours, and then I thought, okay, Spurs, it's going to brighten the mood. We're gonna have a good night, and then this performance again, like the set pieces. Like we'll talk about it later, but goodness me, man, it feels like we're never learning from our mistakes. It's just every time it's the same goals, every time it's the same mistakes. It's just we're not playing as a team anymore. It feels like Ange's lost everything, and now he's screaming on the sideline, which he didn't do. So that must be something's going wrong. Something must be going wrong because he's screaming on the sideline now for the first time. I haven't seen that before. I mean, like, I feel that there's a bit of trust gone, but I don't know, man. I'm not that. Yeah, it's just Same, yeah.
Charlie,
Same Spurs.
Charlie.
This, yeah.
I don't want to say it, but I told you, son.
He literally told me. He said we lose by 2 goals, but we did. Goodness me, man! But I'm speechless. Really, I'm just devastated.
Eugene,
Hey, guys.
how
Yeah.
you seem all right? You seem all right. You seem used to it. You seem conditioned.
I'm
Well
used to it. Okay, I'm going to explain this to you guys, right? Iggy says the players checked out. I've checked out since they sacked Poch, right? So I'm zen about this. We've seen this rinse, repeat, wash, dry, put it back in again, rinse, repeat, wash, dry, over and over again, right? And to tell the truth, right, I was really much more angrier last Sunday when we lost to Arsenal. I was saying that I'm not Ange out at the moment, but Ange sucks. You know what I'm saying? Really, Ange sucks. Then today he brought it back a bit for me because I saw him getting angry at the side of the pitch, actually shouting at the players. That shows me that, okay, at last you've noticed that you actually got a bunch of shit players, which you've been carrying, right? And saying we are doing well, we are progressing, and all the bullshit that's been going on. So welcome, congratulations. We got our Tottenham back, which I tell you, right, guys, this sucks because I don't want this Tottenham back because we haven't won the league in 63 years. We've won 1 cup in 16 years. What the fuck do I want this Tottenham back for? Get it out of my life. I want another Tottenham.
We've got a super chat from Callum. Big up to you. He says they can change the manager, a lot of managers, but the situation cannot change. Believe me, Conte 2023.
I was just wait a minute.
I've got it here. I've got to hear it.
Yeah.
Because it's time to change the situation if Tottenham wants to change. If they want to continue in this way, they can change manager, a lot of manager, but the situation cannot change. Believe me. Thank you very much.
Nobody's saying he's the right fit for Tottenham, right? No one's saying he's the right fit for Tottenham. We're saying his words were bang on. That's kind of what we're saying. Maz, listen, I've got to give you credit, man, but not credit that I want to give you, but I have to because I can't lie. You called this months ago. You said, I'm done. You said you've seen enough quite a while back. And you know what? Each week that goes by, you're being proven right more and more. And I actually argued with you, but I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
24 years we've been waiting and then it's counting. And as the years roll on, I feel like I'm getting, I'm a little bit of me is dying inside as long as this chairman is at this football club. I'm not surprised by today's result, obviously. There's a lot to discuss. But yeah, let's move on. Let's get into it.
Eugene, so you've been arguing with me in the comments, telling me we're going to beat Arsenal, telling me we're going to beat Chelsea. And I've been saying, Eugene, you're deluded, you're out of your mind, and you've been arguing with me, trying to set me straight. Eugene, be honest now, you're in the mud.
For the record, I didn't say we're going to beat Chelsea. I said they will not score 3 goals.
God.
No.
Eugene, are we going to do this?
No, I said
do this?
they're toothless on offense. They will not score 3 goals.
I literally brought your comments up on Friday, which show, the one I did recently. Yeah, Monday. Show. But literally brought your comments up.
I'm not going to lie.
And you emailed me saying, get me on the show.
No, I'm fuming. You know what?
I
can accept a loss. No, I can accept a loss. I cannot accept lack of effort. Like, this team is full of passengers. There is no leadership. There is nobody on the pitch who will say, you know what? I'm the best player. I'm going to make things happen. You know, I'm going to win my individual battle. And it's just shocking. I try to be positive. I'm still not edged out. I don't think the tactics are the biggest issues. I just feel like the players are cowards. Some of them, at least. And I'm fuming.
Didn't we say that under Poch, under Conte, under Nuno, under AVB, under Jose?
It's a curse. I don't know. Different players, different managers. Same.
What's the common thread, though?
Exactly.
Didn't Tim Sherwood about 15, 16 years ago say, no balls, no courage? No. Do you remember that interview? Just before he got sacked? Adrian.
Shocking.
It is shocking. Adrian, you're not allowed to mention the academy, but you can say anything else.
Okay. Fine, right? I mean, we've had we've had a lot of speculation and chat and debates recently about like lack of leadership, who should be a captain in the side. That is total BS. Right? It's total BS. In a team, you want winners in a team. We have got too many passive players, not players that have got enough conviction, right? And they're not aggressive enough. I like players like Romero that are aggressive, right? Aggressive players are winners. They don't need someone to wind them up in the dressing room to tell them like, come on lads, let's do this, let's go. They don't need that. And we have too many passive players in there. Now, we can be flat track bullies when things go well for us, like the beginning of the season, we win games. But these passive players can't dig us out of a hole, right? They're not. So they need to kick up the jacksie. They need to change their mentality, for one thing. I mean, if you looked at aggressive players in our squad, you could say Vicario is because he shouts not. You could say VDV and Romero are, right? I would say Bentancur is. Son always gives his heart and soul for the team, whether it's going for him or not. You know, you've got Richarlison, right? And then Werner, he didn't play today, but he lacks conviction. He lacks belief in himself. He's crap, right? He's not good enough because he'll never give you 10 goals a season, which is what you need if you're going to win a league, right? Which is what you should be aiming for, not just a domestic trophy, right? The young kid on the other wing, he's okay. Actually, a lot of the ball actually went to him today, rather than when we should be going to our captain Son on the other side of the pitch. I didn't think he did that bad, right? But, you know, players that can't pass a 5-yard or 8-yard ball in a tight situation, come on. What is in your head? What is in your head, guys? You've got to believe and try and dominate a game, right? And they don't. So you want out of your 11 on the pitch, you can have passive players in there that offer you something. I mean, Maddison's not an aggressive player, in my opinion. But so you can have a Maddison in there, but you've got to have at least 7 of your players in that team that are aggressive players that are winners. They don't need a captain. All this talk about a captain is bullshit because the captain's role nowadays is mainly like it's the diplomatic role, basically. It's a diplomatic role, right? And it's not that. It's a lack of aggression. Right, we're going to get stuck in. But we didn't. We were flat, lackluster, you know.
Adrian, let me move on to Sava. Let me move on to Sava as well, because I just want to give everyone just a quick minute before we get into it. We've got one more super chat from Callum who says, Johnson is another word for penis. It is actually, yeah, in America. Yeah, you're Johnson.
Pennies.
Yeah.
Pennies.
Pennies, sorry. Christopher Scorpion also says, thank you for the super chat, by the way. How many players need to be kicked out in the summer? It does not matter until our lovely chairman leaves. Cheers, Daniel. And you know what? I don't disagree. Sava, I'm not going to give you as much credit as Maz because you kind of gave in just after Maz. So Maz beat you to it, but you were pretty soon after him. You checked out pretty soon
I checked out after 10 games. Listen, when the rest of the fan base were going into, open top bus parade mode because we were top after 10 games, I was sitting there telling everybody, and I will do, and I told you so, we're not good enough, right? And I was told every combined 11 out there, Spurs get 8 or 9 players in there, and Maddison's the best this, and Van der Ven's the best that, and Romero's the best, Porro and Adoke. I'm bored of it. I'm not upset by it anymore. I actually am at the stage still where when I watch what I see tonight, I find it funny because it's so goddamn obvious. People like, bless them, some of the younger ones like Charlie going, I'm devastated. I can't be devastated. We knew this was going to happen tonight. We knew it was going to happen against Arsenal. We knew Newcastle were going to batter us. We know what Liverpool are going to do to us. Look, I disagree slightly with Iggy, right? I will talk about tactics. I will talk about the manager because that all plays into why they've given up on him. Yeah, the players have got no fight in them because they don't want to be playing these god-awful tactics. You can see it. It makes defenders look bad because they're conceding constantly. Yeah, none of the midfielders suit this formation that he's playing. And the forwards that Andrew's ball are absolutely, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Fucking diabolical. I'm going to say
you can't swear. Can't swear, mate.
Diabolical, Stel, right? And I'm going to chuck Son into that mix. Son is awful. He is gone. Now, people go, oh, he scored 15. That man offers 0 on a football pitch. Every time the ball goes to him, a move breaks down. Brennan Johnson, I don't know what Adrian's watching. Brennan Johnson is shit. Like, he is. I go and watch Charlton play sometimes at the weekend. He is not better than the Charlton wingers. He is awful. So I'm not surprised. I'm not angry. This is funny. We're at the stage where I find this funny. If you sign Werner Johnson, Solomon, Valise, Ashley Phillips, Kulusevski, this is what happens when you buy crap footballers, right? And last thing I'll say is the manager is getting away with so much because he says lovely things sometimes. But this week in the press, and still you and I WhatsApp every day, right, about Spurs, the things he's saying in the press are damn right embarrassing. Talking about medication pills, right? Like, what is it? What are you going on about? We don't need to defend set pieces better. Another 2 set pieces tonight. The guy's out of his depth. I'm not necessarily Ange out because I don't believe anything's going to change. But the manager is bloody awful. And I'm so bored of people going, it's not him. It's not the tactics. They've checked out. He's done. Our season's finished. And the last thing I want to say, just really, really quickly, I sent this to you still. If you take the form of the Premier League since that 10th game of the season, so we won 8 and drew 2. Does everyone know where we are in the form table for the last 25 Premier League games?
10th.
We are 10th, level on points with Everton, Wolves, less points than West Ham, Newcastle, Chelsea, Man United, 8 points worse than Bournemouth. Right? So when we talk about our players not being great, of course they're not great, but we haven't got as good a squad as Bournemouth or West Ham. I mean, sorry guys, I just think that the club's an absolute shambolic mess. Back to you, still in Alex style.
Sava, I was saying to Still from early doors, first couple of months, that Ange needs to shut up. He needs to shut up and stop speaking to the media.
I agree.
And he's gone. He's a great speaker. Let's be honest about that. He's very good at answering questions. He engages well with the journalists, and you can see he's doing a number on the fan base as well. But there's only so far that's going to take you. And if you talk too much, like anything in life, if you talk too much, you end up contradicting yourself. And especially when things start going wrong. And you're right. Something you said, he's out of his depth
massively.
Now, I don't think he needs to go because I think we're all similar age. We've been watching Spurs for a very long time, and just getting rid of the manager, I don't think it's going to solve anything.
True.
But yeah, so that's my 2 seconds.
I want to ask everyone a question, right? We've all just had a quick say. By the way, Dietrich, thank you for super chat. Told everyone Pape Sarr is crap. We'll get into Pape Sarr. We'll get into it. Look, I'm going to put it out there. I think there's big questions to be asked about Ange. But I remember I stood by Poch to the end. I stood by Conte to the end, even Jose. And I'll stick by Ange to the end. I will criticise, but I'll stick by him to the end. Is there a manager, guys? And this is a realistic question. Is there a manager that can come to Spurs under this regime of here's the transfer budget. You've got to buy 8 players with it. Here's the transfer budget. Try and make Timo Werner's, Veliz, Doherty's, Spence's, and Kudu and Poo-Poos. Try and make them work alongside the good players. Is there a manager out there in world football that can honestly come to Spurs the way we're set up and do better than 4th? An honest question, because if the answer is no, what is the point of us even thinking about another manager? We'll criticise Ange tonight for sure, but is there a manager? Because we've tried everything.
But we've had it though.
Is there any presence other than the manager? Is there a presence at the club that can come out every now and again and say something regarding the club in support of the manager, in support of the player? Right now, a manager and the players need a statement from a club. Like the director of football normally would come out and kind of calm things down and say we are in a process, something to say to back this man. It seems to me that every single manager gets to a point similar to what's happening now, and kind of just leaves them alone. Just leaves them all alone to answer the media questions. Just alone. When
Iggy,
is the
it's
presence of the
simple.
board at this club? When is it? Where is it? The owner,
The
the director.
managers.
Where are they?
all
We
our
have so
managers-
many names. So many names. And none of them are just, everyone's just like doing their own thing.
all our managers are fall guys. You get what I'm saying now? When things go wrong, they get pushed with the responsibility, the blame, and all that. So, we've seen managers come in, they've said what they've said, they've done what they've done, and we are seeing the same cycle going over again. Ange lost it today. So sooner or later, the true colors of Ange might be coming out. But luckily, right, we've only got 3 more games to play. So let's screw it all up. And let's see what Ange does.
We've had managers, right, that have built really good football teams. You had Harry Redknapp. He was on the cusp of really building a brilliant team, and he just needed, as we always do every single season, 2 or 3 quality players to get us over the line, right? Never happened. Same thing with Poch. He got us really far. We need those 2 or 3 players to get us over the line. Never happens. Now, Sava, close your ears. Jose, right? Jose was really close to potentially winning something. He never really got any players that he was happy with, right? Conte, he got us into the Champions League. The first 6 months I thought we were playing really good stuff, and then they bring in fucking Richarlison and long gap and it's not the managers.
Danjuma, Spence.
Yeah, it's not the managers. We've had brilliant managers. It's not the managers, because they all go on to other teams and they win things. Same with our players as well, actually.
Yeah.
But Maz, can I say off the back of that though? Look, everyone knows I'm Levy out. Have been for 24 years since he joined or whatever. But there are clubs out there that do things really well. Like if you look at Inter Milan, they're a giant of football. But if you look at them in the last 3 or 4 years, how little they spend, right? How brilliant they are in the free transfer market, right?
Yep.
How brilliant they are at bringing in Onana on a free and selling him for 50 million, right? You look at Bayer Leverkusen this year, Frimpong and someone quickly, the other wing back, Grimaldo. Frimpong and Grimaldo, I believe, cost something like 12 million euros between them, right? And they've got like 40 odd goal contributions. For me, we never seem to get it right at the same time, as in a manager and a director of football that have the same philosophy and are on the same page. Because, and listen, I am going to call this guy out because I think he's absolutely shit. I think this epitomizes why I think Ange will be shit. On the last day of the transfer window, I said to everyone that would listen, the signing of Brennan Johnson showed to me nothing has changed. Our fans were going mad. Oh my God, Ange wants him. I want him. If Ange wants him, he can get the best out of him. That signing alone at £47.5 million summed up that either Ange doesn't have a clue, or the director of football or the scout that looked at him doesn't have a clue about what is good versus what is great.
Yep. Sava,
because that's what we do. We sign crap like that.
Yeah,
and celebrate
100% with you. I don't think you're right. It's not necessarily the money we're spending, although that does have, I would say, if you're going to weight things, that does have a large part to it. But you're right. You can be smart and do business and operate in a way where you can still win. And as you said, Inter Milan proved that.
Mm-hmm.
But we never plan anything ever, right? It's all by accident. Bale was by accident almost. Kane was almost by accident, So it's they're brilliant at planning hotels and stadiums and facilities and F1 tracks and skywalks, but they're really rubbish at planning for football.
Guys, Maz, just quickly, just to jump from what you guys said, I'll let you finish your point. So I've just updated my spreadsheet. That's 17 games against the top 10. These are the games our amazing attackers that we've signed have turned up in with goals or assists. They're an absolute disaster. You cannot argue the facts. Goals and assists, they're shocking. Against the bottom 10, Very different. But when it matters against the big clubs, they're useless.
Yeah, and I said probably a month and a bit ago, a couple of months ago, that when you analyse our transfer business at the start of the season, Van der Ven came in because we had Clement Longap went, right, and we desperately needed another defender, right, and Eric Dyer's useless. Who else did we sign? My one's got black. Vicario came in because Lloris was finished, right? So we desperately needed Vicario.
Madison,
right?
because we got rid of Lamella and Lucas Moura.
Yeah, all right, and we needed a statement signing for Kane, right? They knew Kane was leaving for 2 seasons now or longer, and they did nothing. All right, and the poor guy comes in, Ange. He loses our best ever player that we had at the club. And we're like, oh, well, we got Richarlison for you, Ange. Get on with it.
Hang on. No, Maz, I don't feel sorry for him at all. I'm not doing this. Oh, poor Ange. Ange said in an interview, right? This is the problem. When you've got a manager that talks to the press as much as Ange does, you have to own what you say. The same way we're going to give credit to Conte for calling out the chairman. Yeah. He owned what he said. Ange says things like this. Ange says, not one player will come through these doors unless I sign it off. And then he goes on to sign.
I agree.
Brennan Johnson, right? Hang on, Maz, hang on. To your point, they knew. He turned around and said, Harry told me the first day I met him that he wanted to leave. Words to that effect. He knew all summer Harry Kane was leaving. And then we're told that his first choice, all the top Spurs reports saying it, Ange's first choice was Brennan Johnson. I don't feel sorry for him.
So we're in agreement.
They had all summer to go and find, I'm not saying you can find a Kane replacement, but they had all summer to go and look for someone. A Mohamed Kudus, a Cole Palmer, an Anthony Gordon, right? A Moussa Diaby. We got Brennan Johnson. The club's finished. It's useless.
Let me ask you a question with you, Sava.
I agree. On this. No, I agree. We lost a bit of fear there because
let Maz finish his point. Adrian, let Maz finish his point. Adrian, let him finish his point, and then I'll come back. Then I'll come to you. Go on, Maz, finish your point.
Complete agreement, Sava. Spot on. What I would say, right, and this is why I feel sorry for him. It's not just Ange. I think the wider picture of Spurs is every manager that comes in thinks that they can change things. Every single manager does, right? And that's almost why I feel sorry for him, because every single time Jose comes in, Conte, Poch, they think they're the one that's going to change Levy, and they never do. He breaks them, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
Adrian.
I agree with what Sava said, and you have to take into account the fact that where we're not so good as a front three as before, even though we weren't a great team either under Conte or Mourinho, we had Son and Kane. Now, Son and Kane kept defenders busy on other teams. Now they only have to worry about Son because he's their best finisher, right? Before that, we could occupy their defenders because they'd be worried about what Son or Kane might possibly do. And we haven't got that now. We haven't got that. And if you're a good forward line, right, you don't wait for defenders to make mistakes, give you penalties and all that. You make things happen. You're a player that makes things happen. It's what I look when I watch videos of players. I want to see players that fall in a forward line that make things happen. And Son can do it on his day. Some of their players can do it on his day, but it's just not consistent enough to do it.
Let me ask you guys another question then. It's clear to me that managers that come into Spurs, maybe there's a discussion where there's some sort of compromise or agreement. Otherwise, you wouldn't take the job. And maybe what Maz said is true in the sense that managers think they can change it. I can change the culture. Once I do a good job, they'll buy into my culture. Maybe I can persuade them to kind of change this and that. But the one question I've got, no matter what manager comes to Spurs, the transfer business never changes. We sold Gareth Bale for 85 million. We signed 7 players. Mourinho comes into the club and we spend 180 million. We sign 8 players. Conte comes in, we spend 200 million. We sign 8 players. We sell Harry Kane for 100 million. And this season under Ange, we sign 9 players. can we blame the managers for that as well? Because what I'm seeing is every manager is subjected to a similar pattern of transfers where it's get as many players as you can, where 2 or 3 are good, 2 or 3 are maybe, and then the rest are either injured or absolute shite, or ones for the future. It's never, here's 180 million for really good players. Let's try and build again next year. Then in 3 years' time, we'll have signed 12 really good players. Can we blame the managers for that? Or am I being a bit too to the managers?
50-50 on some of it. I mean, when a manager sits there and blatantly says what I've said enough times and what Sava said earlier, no player enters this team unless I want them, couldn't have shot himself in the foot any harder. The fact that we're the 4th biggest spenders in the past 5 or 6 years, with only Chelsea, Arsenal and Man U spending more than us, it's not even the amount we spend. It's like what you just said. It's the crap we spend it on.
Call me naive.
Why can't they just go out and go,
I'll come to you next, Eugene.
This is what we need to take us up a gear. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it might be a bit awkward at times when you haven't got the backup, but that's where you get to January or the following transfer window, whatever, and you build yourself up another 3 quality players, getting rid of the crap players. That's how you build yourself a good team. It's not going to happen in 5 minutes, but it's like what you said, we go and get 8 players, and usually one of them turns out to be actually good.
Because the problem is now, Eugene, I'll come to you. The problem is now, we sack Ange this year, next year, whenever. The problem you're going to have is he's going to inherit Brennan Johnson, Villiers, Solomon, and all the other donkeys. And then you're back in that same roundabout. Quick super chat and I'll go to Eugene. Della Spurs, thank you. He says, I think today's game, post-game press conference and the last 3 games show there is no accountability for the players, the manager and the club this season. Back-to-back rival losses is strike 2 for Ange. Eugene, you wanted to speak.
Saba, to your point, and Dan, to your point, call me naive, but I don't believe Ange was given a lot of options. And he said, I want Johnson and Timo. There is no way that happened, right?
Then he shouldn't have said it.
He shouldn't say it then, should he?
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is PR. I think there are certain things that a manager has to say in order to show some leadership, right? But there's no way I believe in January.
Eugene,
Eugene, can I ask you a question on your point then? So let me ask you a question, and this kind of goes back to Stell's point. I know we want to circle this all back to Levy, and I get it, overarching it does, but Daniel Levy, and I'm not backing him here, has turned around and said to Conte, there's 60 million for a striker, right? He's turned around and said to Poch, there's 65 million or whatever Ndombele cost, right? There's 50 million for Brennan Johnson. You're not telling me, right, as much as I hate Daniel Levy, you're not telling me that Daniel Levy's gone to Postecoglou and gone, right, Ange, there's 47.5 million. I'm only giving it to you if you sign Brennan Johnson. I fail to believe it. There were players out there on the market cheaper than that. Cheaper. Kudus, Diaby, Cole Palmer.
It's
a scouting issue, right?
Was looking at Paratici was looking at Brennan Johnson and Morgan Gibbs-White before Ange came to this club. So we don't know. Ange might have sanctioned it and said, yeah, I like the look of the player. Because I don't know if it's Celtic, he might have looked at him. But then Celtic would never have been out of fault to buy him anyway. So I struggle with that argument. You know,
Adrian, we've got a problem though. We've got a problem here. There's a problem here. By the way, there's 1,000 people watching. Unbelievable. Wow. Smash the like.
Guys,
please subscribe. Make sure you
guys.
follow the Hotspur Hood, Charlie Spurs N17, Spurs Wasian. Make sure you follow all the channels here and Adrian's Facebook group, Spurs Dies. The problem I've got here is this. The guys have said tonight that Ange has said no one comes through the door unless I say yes. But Conte, he didn't do that. Conte said Spence is their signing. They wanted him. It's a club signing. The problem we've got is some managers are saying, no, this isn't on me. We've had managers like Redknapp in the past who said that I asked for, was it Luis? He asked for 2 players. I can't remember. And he
asked for Cahill and Tevez, wasn't it?
That's it. And he goes, and I got something completely different. So you've got managers in the past saying, look, I said this, I got that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ange is the only manager I can remember who categorically has said, I say yes. I wouldn't have had the job unless And
Well, then it's down to him. Then it's down
this
to
is
him.
the point, isn't
Well,
it?
we know,
This is
don't
the argument.
we know in European football, like you say Barcelona or Real Madrid, right? It was like, oh, because they have this culture of bringing in Galacticos and all that, that we bring in this like world superstar or world class player in, right? And they bring it in, and no matter who the manager is or the coach there, right? We bring the players in, you sort them out, you deal with them. That's it. So, which I think Poch has been put in that situation a little bit at Chelsea actually. When he's there with all the players, they spent 500 million. They Todd Bowley.
Yeah, but I reckon it's all right, Adrian. If you're Real Madrid and you're going right, I don't care if you want Mbappe, you're having him. I think that's slightly different to right. There's Brendan Johnson. You're dealing with
because we know Mbappe's superb. But what I'm saying, it might not always be the case with every player they bring in. You obviously like the superstars, the Galacticos hit the headlines, but it might be some other players they bring in that the coach or manager might not want.
Yeah, but we can't even Trossard for under 30 million. We can't even spend Trossard for under 30 million.
I think the problem with Ange's, right? He's coming to this club when it was so toxic. The fan base was turning. All the blah 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 that we've been through, right? He's come in. He's put in this positive spin to all of us, right? And we've caught up with it. That's one thing. There could be another part of it is, right? Ange just said maybe to Levy, I'm willing to take this job because I'm going to take all responsibility for whatever happens on the football. You sit one side, right? You sign the players. I'll say, okay, right? And maybe there's an agreement there. So now when the shit is hitting the fan now, right? He knows that he's got a bunch of shit players. And maybe this is what we're seeing today, what he's being angry about. Maybe tomorrow he won't be. Maybe it's just today, right? Maybe the next game against Liverpool, let's see what happens. He might even get more angry if our players don't turn up. But he has said one thing. He is responsible for everything. He's responsible for the happiness of the players, the squad, right? They're responsible for the happiness of the fans, right? Whatever PR shit he throws out there to us, maybe it's part of the club's initiative and all that. But in the end of the day, he is responsible. So
no, guys. 1 second, right? In big corporations, right, you're going to have effectively a group of directors that will say, right, we're willing to release this amount of funds for you to go and buy this player. This is the wages. This is the type of contract or deal that we can offer for these types of players. And they'll draw up a list, right? And then the manager will sit down with those money men, the people who hold the purse strings and the football director and God knows who else, right? And the scouts, right? And draw up a list of their players. But that's when Daniel Levy gets involved, right? Because they're probably, as a team, a management team, dilly-dally over so many players and annoy so many other clubs, right? And their agents, etc., that we lose out. How many stories have you heard where we've lost that? Like Trossard is the most recent example, right? Exactly. And that's why those managers probably never get the players they truly want, because of the way that the structure of the club is geared towards financing these players coming through the door.
Let me quickly do some super chats. George says, Ange is the 12th best manager in the league. Ha, 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 ha. Christopher says, really miss players like Keane, Defoe, Berbatov, Edgar Davids, Van der Vaart, Modric. Mate, you're reading off some gems here. They always fight for the shirt. Would you like Amorim, or will Levy destroy him too?
No.
I don't think anyone survives here. CMO Sports Connor, Gooner. We're going to get it, aren't we? Chelsea done the double. Oh dear, it's happened again. Tottenham up. Beat City for us. Cheers. We probably will, mate. Don't worry. We probably will. All right, guys. I want to... Go on.
Sorry, just say one thing. I've just been checking, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it criminal that West Ham United have a better front three than Tottenham Hotspur, right? And the combined cost of Jared Bowen, Paqueta, and Kudos, right, is 100 million euros exactly, which is what, I don't know, 85 million pounds.
Yeah.
Right. How have they assembled that front three? And we've assembled what we've assembled.
Why are they below us, Stavver? Why are they below us in the league?
Hang on, Adrian. I'm not talking about the whole of their team. I'm talking about their forward line.
The front three.
I'm talking about the front three. I'm not talking about the rest of their team.
We haven't beaten West Ham this year, by the way. Just
are you telling me, Adrian, you wouldn't swap our entire front three
just saying.
for Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudos?
Well, Paqueta is a playmaker, isn't he? He's not a front three player.
Well, he plays in their front three.
Well, if anything, as a number 10, yeah, okay.
Well, okay, the way they've been setting up at the moment is Paqueta left, Kudus right, Bowen through the middle. So you're telling me you wouldn't have that front three over Son, Johnson, Kulu, or any variation that we've got?
I'd pick Son over any of those three. The others
you'd pick Son over any of those three this
season?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what we're watching. He's been absolutely shit.
That's why opinions on players are subjective, isn't it?
I know, but we're doing it again, aren't we? Like, why are we never allowed to say?
Why are we doing it again? Because I disagree with you. I'm wrong.
No.
And you're right, or what?
Right. So watch Paqueta.
Son scored 16 goals this season. He's one goal away from the Golden Boot score when he shared it with Savron. 17 goals. He's a class finisher who finishes both feet. He might have lost the bit of the turbos that like the Gareth Bale and his type had earlier in his career, but he's still good for me. I would give him a 2-year contract tomorrow, the year's extension, without a shadow of a doubt.
And that right there, Adrian, I don't
why
care
we will never go anywhere.
Right there.
Hang on, Adrian, fine.
Let me finish. Adrian, that right there is why we will never, ever, ever succeed as a football club. We are so...
That's right there, Sam.
Let me finish.
Hold on.
Adrian, let me finish.
It's not about success.
Adrian, let me finish.
Well, what is it about then?
Let me finish.
Hold on.
Can I finish?
Guys, one at a time. Let's have a go. Wait, well, guys, let me take control. Guys, let me take control. Adrian, Sava. Let's have a finish. Then Sava, once you're finished, let him finish without interruption. Off you go.
Yeah, I haven't interrupted. I've finished. Right. This is why we will never succeed as a club. Because we... Adrian, let me finish, mate.
Sorry, go on, carry on.
Right? Because we did this forever with every player we ever have. We have this incessant need to keep them for 10 years. We do it with everybody. And every time you can see a player is slowly but surely declining, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, they get rid of those players. What we do is we have a fan base going, you know what? He's declining. He's not as quick as he was. His touch looks terrible. Let's give him another contract. Like, why can't we build for the future? Why can't we have players coming through that are sharp, quick, incisive, good with the ball at their feet? Why are we still looking? Listen, I love Son. Son's been a great player for Spurs. But watch Son this season. When he's not scoring a goal, he looks, I'm sorry, he looks so poor. He looks so poor. So why are we going to give him another 2-year contract extension?
Right. Let Adrian
more.
Let Adrian respond, guys. Let Adrian respond.
Right.
Go on, Adrian.
Because who else have we got? He's our best striker. He's our best finisher with both feet. We haven't got no one else. We haven't brought no one else in. Richarlison can't score goals like he does. Neither can Johnson. Neither can Werner. We haven't got no one else. So when you're in a period of transition, I would keep him until we can improve and move on. Then you involve. Like we got rid of crap before. We got rid of Sissoko. We got other players like that. They helped us for a period of time with a popular fan base. And then we moved on as we thought we were evolving and getting better, right? We got rid of them. You can't just throw Son out the window now because we haven't got no one else.
That's when you act like a big club and buy what you need.
Exactly. When you've got a player that is not...
if we go out and buy them. But at the moment, we haven't. We haven't. We are where we are.
Right. Okay. If we get a 70 million offer for Son, yeah? Now, Son has been brilliant, everything else. But this sentimental crap out of this club has to stop. Agreed. If you want to be a winner and you want to get somewhere, you do what Chelsea used to do. You do what Man U used to do. You do what City do. You've been brilliant, mate. Love you to bits. There's another £1 million in your back pocket.
They've all bought crap.
And he's Let me finish, Adrian. Adrian,
we sell
can I finish?
Tomorrow for 70 million. Who are you bringing in? Who do you want?
Who do I want to bring in 70 million? Go and look for another striker.
Who out there you want to bring in? We sell Son tomorrow for 70 million.
Adrian, I'm going to mute you. You can't tell people to not interrupt you. Then as soon as Dan speaks, you interrupt him. Let Dan finish. Let him finish.
Right,
Dan, finish your point.
We are too sentimental as a club. As a whole, we are too accepting. Son has been brilliant. I'm not saying we go out of our way to sell him.
I agree.
But if we get a 70 million offer, 60 million offer either for him, take it. Gone. Let's go and try with another striker. Will you get it right? Will you get it wrong? We'll only find out. But the following season, Son, we'll get 40 million for him because he's going to deteriorate. He's at that age now where he is on the way down. You sell the players just as you know they're getting to that point where they're going to start stepping down. And then you go and get another player in there. You go and spend that money on someone proper. No, Spurs, tell you what, 100% what Sav has said. Let's go give him another 2 years. He's been brilliant. Stick 2 million in his back pocket. And I'm sure he'll be happy.
Dan, it's like Gio, like Lo Celso. Been here 5 years, done nothing, and we're going, let's give him another 2 years. Like,
how many debates?
Guys, we are testimonial
with a couple
FC,
of
right?
people
Testimonial FC. We've been saying to Ben Davies for so long.
I want to bring in Dean because he's been sitting there, hasn't said a word in ages. Dean, mate, you've been here in the chat for the last hour. We haven't even got into the game. We're about to get into the game, but clearly, look, we're pissed off with the manager's tactics. We're pissed off with particular players at the club, particular players that shouldn't be at the club, particular players' performances. The overarching kind of feeling is that this is on Levy. Above everything else, he is the bigger issue. Dean, where are you at as a fan at the moment? Are you believing that if we have a good summer, it will change? Are you this manager? He's not the right fit. You know, where are you at with it all, Dean?
I want to know when we're going to go to fucking Chelsea and put a fucking performance in and try and fucking win there.
Would help.
For
You said
fuck's
that without
sake.
swearing, mate.
That's what I want to know. Sunday, oh my days. 40 years I've been going to that football club and I've never left early once. I left at half time. I went to the fucking Gilpin and had a drink. I was done. I was finished. Done. And I've never been like that. Never been like that. The defending was absolutely awful. It was like Sunday football. It was terrible. It was awful.
It wasn't that good. Do you think Ange is the man? Do you think Ange is the man, Dean?
Look, I'm prepared to give the guy a chance, you know, because obviously we need some different players in the summertime. But if he keeps on playing the way he's playing with that defence like that, I mean, you've only got to look at the last 10, 14 games. I mean, we're losing too many games. We're letting too many goals in. It's bloody stupid. You know, I will say, and like I heard you discuss the other day, if we'd have had Conte, still had Conte in it, we would have lost that game Sunday. Not a cat and hell's fucking chance.
Well, we just wouldn't have done, wouldn't we? We would defend better.
Yeah. The only thing, I didn't mind him speaking.
I don't know how we'd attack. I don't know how we'd attack, but
I mean, I loved it when he spoke his fucking mind because it showed up the board and what they are. You know, I've not been on for a long time, obviously, but I mean, I had a chat with some guys in the Gilpins Sunday. Never met them before in my life, and we started talking. And I was having a right rant about the fucking concessions, and they were like cheering me on and all the rest of it. And I don't know who they were, but they were big Levy guys. That's all I know. You know, that was another thing I got really pissed. I mean, I've been so fucking angry about. I mean, I'm 65 next year, and I was due to send my, obviously for the following season, to apply for my concession. Now it's been taken away. I've paid for my season ticket, but I'm just so fucking pissed off with that, man. I'll tell you. I messaged you still. You know how I feel.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? Phil P made me laugh. Phil P made me laugh. He had so many beers. He was gone. When Phil's gone, he's classic. He's in the pub and he doesn't know whether to be angry, laugh, or cry. He's mixed emotions. And I said to him, "What do you think of that today?" And the first words out of his mouth were, "We fucking give more concessions to the opposition's attackers than we do to our elderly fans."
Just going back to the football, right? Who was the legend speaking half time at Spurs Sunday? By the way,
because no one was there. Everyone walked out.
no, but I know who it was. But who was it?
No idea. I walked out.
Oh, mate, really? Steve Archibald.
You left at half time. I left.
Yeah, but
I went for a drink before.
I see him on the screen down the bottom as I was walking out. Steve Archibald.
Oh wow.
Two FA Cups, one UEFA Cup. He then goes to Barcelona and wins a league title in 1985. They're the sort of strikers you wanted. Someone had some grit, bad temper, would give it to the opposition players and all the rest of it. I'm just at a loss at how you could even sign the German guy Werner. I mean, you've heard me rant loads of times. Just keeps doubling back and cutting inside, and it drives me mad. And Tula keeps doing that now as well. Don't shoot. And obviously Johnson's crosses, some of them are going to be fucking awful. I mean, I just got after 80 minutes tonight. I just turned off. I'm not a good watcher of TV football anyway, but because I like to be at the ground, I like trying to sing and trying to get behind the team. But Sunday, I just fucking lost it. Totally lost it. Everybody's looking at me in the ground round me.
Guys, one thing.
Go on.
I've got one thing to say. Especially like we're saying about like why we get Johnson, why we get all this stuff. Our club was in ruins. It was not attractive for any player to come. Why would a player want to come to Tottenham? There were so many other teams that were playing so much better football.
That's a fair argument, though, isn't it, guys?
No,
that's a fair argument.
Hang on. Okay, I've got a retort. So, Charlie,
I'll talk after you. Yeah.
No, go. Oh, sorry. I thought you finished. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
No. So to say, I know Johnson isn't the best player, but for us to get the best player that there was and to have like a £60 million player, that would be amazing for us, was nearly impossible. Because why would a player want to come to our team? Ange Postecoglou from Japan has come to Tottenham. Wow. Why would I want to play under this guy? Which is the most toxic club that we've seen. It's very toxic. Why would everyone play?
We got Van der Ven for 45 million, Charlie. We got Van der Ven. He's pretty good for 45, isn't he?
He's pretty good, but nobody really expected him to be this good.
So West Ham can attract Mohamed Kudus, but we can't.
But
so
didn't West Ham win a Conference League, or did they not?
Right. Okay, hang on, Charlie. Listen. Do you know what? With all due respect, if we're going to sit and make excuses as to why Brennan Johnson was the best we could do at the time, then we should all pack up the club and go home. Right?
Perhaps that's because it was Sava. Perhaps that's because it was English.
I think it must have been, because you're not telling me that West Ham can sign Mohamed Kudus. Aston Villa can sign Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey, right? Chelsea, who are whatever in this massive mess, can go and sign Cole Palmer, right? You're not telling me.
Hold on, Sava. Hold on. We signed Maddison for 40 million, Charlie.
Yeah.
Well,
he's dropped off a cliff.
We can attract some decent players.
He's dropped over Newcastle.
And we weren't in Europe.
Newcastle.
West Ham just won the Conference League. Yeah. Aston Villa just got to Europa League. It was, or what did they get in?
Charlie, we also attracted one of the most hot property goalkeepers.
We always highlight other teams' successful signings. We never highlight their poor signings, do we? The amount of crap that Man United have signed. Man City took 8 years.
They're in the mud.
Hold on, 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. This argument. No, hold on. We're changing the argument. 1 minute. No, we're changing the argument. The argument Charlie's putting forward is we can't attract better than Johnson because we're in turmoil. That's the argument.
We can attract.
But yet we signed Vicaria, Van der Ven, Madison.
Much better. Much better, Charlie. I'm sorry. There is no way. Listen, for as much as we might be in turmoil or whatever, we're still a big football club across Europe, right? There is not a chance that Brennan Johnson is the best we could do on the right wing for
I'm not saying that.
$7.5 million.
But Charlie, you kind of are saying that though.
I'm saying
we can't.
I'm saying
because that's the best we can do.
Look, what we're saying here, we're expecting players that City can bring. We're in this position. We were in a position that we could not bring the highest of the highest. We could bring a bit lower, and we made a mistake getting Brennan Johnson. We should have gotten better, but we can't expect as a club.
Now you've just gone back on what you said, Charlie.
Yeah, you've changed.
Now you're going back on what you said.
We could have signed Grealish for 30 million. We didn't want to do that.
Yep.
Now you're saying we
Charlie,
could've
the thing
done
is, there's a difference, right? And I think, do you know what, Charlie? When somebody like me, and I think Danny's probably in the same boat as me, and I'm sure a few others are, when fans like us say things like, oh my God, we signed Brennan Johnson or Timo Werner, whatever, right? The comeback from everybody is always, yeah, but we're not Man City. We can't buy the Man City players. I'm not talking about signing players that Man City signed. I've just put us on, if you look at it, the clubs I've just named are Chelsea, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and West Ham. If you're telling me with our super duper stadium and all the revenue we make, right, that we can't compete with Aston Villa, Newcastle, right, who haven't got as much money as us to spend, even though they've got all that money, right, West Ham and I can't remember the other one I said. I'm sorry. How, Charlie? How are we not competing with that? How are they getting better players than us?
He's
Okay,
fucking
guys, one more
building
thing.
Levy land. That's why.
Everyone in the comments saying, why did Dragson come to Tottenham?
I mean,
Then
you all
that was
know
after we had an amazing run. That was after
you
we
all
had an
know,
amazing
you all
run.
know that recruitment is not a perfect science, no matter what team you are. You might beat Barcelona and Real Madrid and go and get Mbappe, and okay, we know he's going to be a hit, right? But like even their recruitment's not perfect. So why is it? So basically, you need to have a system in process whereby you do the data analytics and you go and do the eye test. You send your scouts out, and then you hope that if you're bringing a foreign player in, he is suited to the Premier League. But you don't know. Man City went through the problem of all
We
this.
watched Brennan Johnson play in the Premier League all last season.
Right back.
Adrian, Brennan Johnson played in the Premier League all last
They
season.
brought in Carl Walker. Sorry, go on, carry on.
Adrian, Brennan Johnson played in the Premier League all last season. We saw him.
I didn't.
Look,
I
could have gone out.
I didn't want
I
him.
could have gone out with
Yeah, but
50
this is the
million
argument.
and signed.
The argument.
Sorry, I could have gone out
Yeah,
with
go,
50
go.
million and signed a better player than Johnson. I could have gone out with 65, 70 million and picked a better player than bloody Richarlison. Don't talk to me about how it's we're
The thing
building
is-
up and do things like this.
Well, I
It isn't
agree.
getting
Yeah,
for spending
But Dan,
the
what
60
Adrian's
million.
just said, I'm going to debunk it immediately.
Go on, where you go?
Right, we're not talking about, but Adrian, we've got to think about this logically. We're not talking about one foreign signing that's coming in, right? When you look at, if you look at the last 6 forwards that Tottenham Hotspur have bought, we bought Richarlison from the Premier League. We knew what he was like. We bought Brennan Johnson from the Premier League. We knew what he was like. We bought Solomon, who was at Fulham, couldn't really get in the Fulham team. We knew what he was like. We've bought Kulusevski after seeing him for nearly 2 years in a Spurs shirt and seeing how up and down he was, right? We've bought in Valise, who's an 18-year-old kid from abroad. And there's one other I'm missing. And we brought in Timo Werner, who had played in the Premier League and been atrocious and then been atrocious when he went back to Germany. So your thing about scouting, I'm not talking about, oh, we've got one wrong. That's the last 6 forwards we've brought into this football club, and none of them are any good.
Well, then
none
you
of
look
them
at
are
the
any good.
recruitment team, then, don't you? You look at the recruitment team.
That's my point. That was my point, Adrian. That's my point.
Can I bring up something? Can I bring up something linked to this? Okay, right. When we signed, I've just remembered something that I was looking at the other day. When we signed Postecoglou, all the PR machines, all the narrative was this, that he's perfect fit, Ange fits exactly what Spurs want. And there's one bit I've highlighted in green. Spurs chairman also wanted to put his faith in someone who understood how important the link between the academy and the first team is. Now, the reason I've highlighted that is because in the Carabao Cup final, Jurgen Klopp won the final with a bunch of kids in the last 30 minutes. Not out of choice, he was forced into it. Today, a depleted Chelsea team against pretty much a fully fit Spurs, Poch brought on 2 kids. There was a kid up against Son today, right? He brought another one later on. Why have we been told we've brought in a manager who can link with the academy? None of the academy kids come in. We see every club doing it, but yet, rather than bringing in those youngsters, developing them, and buying a couple of special players to help them and the team, we go and buy Brennan Johnson. We go and buy Valise. We go and buy Philip. See, this is where now you've got to bring into question how we go about our recruitment. Just beyond signing 9 players.
Didn't we have a long discussion at the very end of summer about how this was the prime opportunity for them to blood in the youth from now if they're going to do a 3 or 4 year project, right?
Yeah, because they had a
And
free
show-
season. Yeah,
exactly, right? And they didn't. And I'm going to be very, very short with this point. These are PR statements to win the fan base over. Because when the manager comes in and they get the target by the board, right, to say, you have to get us into Champions League because we need money, they ain't going to risk it bringing in some kid on the whim that he might be good or not, right? They just then rely on the senior pros in the squad. So, and the same thing happened with the previous. I mean, Jose was probably the only manager who threw in a few kids here and there to try and do something.
Did he?
Fair to him.
Well, he brought through Oliver
against
Skip.
Marine.
He did.
He played Parrott in the FA Cup and he missed a penalty. We went out to Norwich. I was there, remember? It was turmoil.
Yeah,
That's
I
when
was there as well.
Very, very sparse.
But to prove a point, didn't
Try
he?
out
Prove a point that they
Yeah,
weren't
he
very
did
good.
it to prove a point. Yeah. Let me bring in box office because he's been sitting there patiently. Alex, I see you smiling, then not smiling, then smiling and not smiling. So I've got no idea what you're thinking. You'll let us know.
Well, I've got nothing to say because I've switched off a long time ago, innit? So it's like it's not really it's not like I've done anything wrong anyway. Like, I mean, Sava, who I'm glad he's back on YouTube now. That like he's talking facts. You know what I mean? Like I said, I said everything in June, and now people are saying that they want Ange out. It's only taken a season. It's only taken a season. I don't need to say anymore. That's it, really. The whole thing about the youngsters, I knew that it was an absolute hoax because, like, he had ample opportunity to use the youngsters, and then, ironically, the youth director and him have said the youngsters not good enough, and that's it. The only reason why now we want the youngsters now because we're twerking for the youngsters that we're going to bring in, we're going to buy because we've got this this guy, Swedish guy. What is his name? The Swedish guy that we've got.
Johan Langer.
That we're twerking for. That's going to come in, and I bet he'll be in the first
Oh,
team.
the Swedish Messi.
No,
Yeah,
Lucas
the English, the Swedish Messi, and then he has a few good games. Then everyone's going to twerk for him because we beat in Barcelona to him. You know what I mean? So the youngsters are not going to get a chance at all. I'm sorry, I don't think they're going to get a chance. I'm sorry. So, but on the game, it's like for me. I mean, to be honest with you. This has been building. This has been building because the performances, even when we were winning, weren't great. And if you watch Mr. Box Office TV, when I've been outside the stadium, I was telling
Alex,
people.
don't forget to promote your channel, yeah?
Yeah. Well, Adrian, I do that every single time, bro. You know what I mean? You just have to listen and watch the master while you watching this and the master, and that's it. That's how it goes every single time.
And do it again before.
Well, the point is,
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the point is, yeah. I know, Adrian. You had your 5 minutes of fame, bro. No disrespect, but my point is, is that everything I've seen today is again showing again the attack is useless. You know what I mean? And again, Johnson wasn't a great game as well. I mean, when he had a few good games, we're twerking for him though, aren't we? We were wrong about him, weren't we? We were wrong about him, weren't we? After a few games, wasn't it?
Alex, has Johnson even had a good more than one good game?
Tottenham fans though, a few good games. We're wrong about Johnson after a few good games. Yeah,
it's not even good games he's had. The only way Johnson for me has improved is you now see him for 10 minutes in a game instead of 5 minutes. He's had his moments, but that's all he ever has. I can name one good game. Adrian, hang on a sec, mate. I can name one good solid game where he's been good for 70 minutes. Apart from that, he's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and that is all he's done all season. Someone make me wrong.
I agree, Dan. But Ange obviously likes him, and we don't see what he sees him in training. But to me, if you're paying £47 million for a player with add-ons, even if it's with add-ons, he should be oven ready.
You must be a person.
So why did we get him then?
Work in progress, and we don't know really even now if he's going to be a hit and miss.
We do. He's a miss.
Well,
is he the star player for Wales? No, he's not. That's the thing. Gareth Bale was a star player for Wales. He made Wales made Wales qualify for championships. Brendan Johnson is part of just a team, and that's it. That just sums up perfectly why he's not a great player, and that's it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sava was talking facts. He was talking absolute facts.
I'm not
You know what I
saying he
mean? And
wasn't.
that's it.
I'm not saying
And I'm
he
not even
wasn't.
trying to raise my voice. I'm not even angry. This is just the way I speak. You know what I mean? And that's it. But the point I'm making is, I'm not even proving my point, like I said. You know what I mean? Because we just have to see next season. Yeah, because everyone's now saying 6 months, and that's it. Yeah, and that's it. And I'll tell you this for a fact. Yeah, I'll be telling people, I told you so in December, right? End of this year, when this guy gets sacked because they haven't got the nerve to stick by their manager. Yeah, that everyone said we got our Spurs back with this manager, and that's it. Okay, and that's the guy. This is the guy that you reached the pieces calling me a scum, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's all I need to say, and that's it. If you don't know, get to know. Back to you, Stellis. I'm done.
Well, Alex, I will judge the manager after his second season, like I do with players. I judge him after their second season. Now, I know fans will be less patient and be more harshly critical of players before that period of time's up. But, like, you know, I will give, especially, I'm not too harshly rejecting of players that are under 24. When they're 24, I expect you to be oven ready for this team, right? That's the way I'll judge it.
Let's get into the game itself.
24
goes back to
yes, Savage. Yeah, 24.
Look at Saliba. Look at Saka. Look at Kudus. Look at Gordon. Look at Van der Ven. Look at Kobe Mainu. Look at all of these players who are 24 or under, right? And they are very good. I keep hearing, hang on, Adrian, let me finish. I keep hearing that Brennan Johnson is young, he's young. He is the same age, I think, a few months younger than Erling Haaland. This guy, you don't need to have any coaching badges. You don't need to be a genius. Watch him. He isn't good. There is nothing about his game that you say, hang on, if we nurture that, he can't cross, he can't beat a man, his passing is shit, his shooting is shit. So what is this constant? This is what I mean, Adrian. You're doing that thing again. Hang on. We're doing that thing again. We sign shit players and we just excuse them over and over and over again.
We do.
He
we excuse
is
shit.
He is a shit player that will score a tap-in every 7 or 8 games.
And Werner,
right?
and Richarlison.
And every time he scores a tap-in, right, our fans do that thing, go, see, you were wrong about him. Wingers get the ball. Wingers get the ball. They should scare the shit out of their fullbacks. Yeah?
Can I show you guys something?
Playing against Brennan Johnson, I'm sitting there all day going, this is the easiest game I've had.
Stand my ground.
And our fans are going, but he's young. He's 23. He's 23 this month.
Let me show you something, guys.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something before you say something?
No, Alex, I want to show one thing.
Big up to Ellie. Big up to Iggy, by the way. Big up to Iggy, by the way, because I haven't seen him for a long time. Big up to him. You know what I mean? Sorry, I had to say that.
All right, there you go. You got a big up. I just want to show you this, guys.
Iggy, you got a big up, mate.
This is Madueke, ex-Spurs Academy. He wasn't good enough for our club. He went out. He's now been bought to Chelsea. Half-time stats. Madueke has completed as many dribbles as all of the Tottenham players combined. That is fucking embarrassing. That is fucking embarrassing of the highest level. More dribbles. Just so people know what a dribble is, it's when you actually take on a man with skill, not running past him with pace. That's not dribbling.
But just to add,
Johnson can't dribble. Kulu doesn't dribble. Richarlison's not dribbling. Who's beating a man in this team?
Just
even Son can't dribble anymore.
Well,
sorry,
right? That
put Son in. He's part of that as well.
20, 30 years ago, when we were introducing youngsters into the team, like when Darren Anderton, right? When we brought in Darren Anderton, right? He wasn't too young to play, or Barnby when they were young. Adrian, he wasn't too young to play, was he?
No,
when Bell came into the team, he wasn't too young to play.
Didn't Bell start? You know what's
funny that
and Anderton was called a sick note, and he played over 300 games for Spurs. So
but when a young player, I say young, right? When a player can hack it, they can hack it. It's as simple as that. Whether they're 19, 20, 18, 21, 22, we've got to stop giving these players excuses. They're getting like 50 to 100 grand a week.
I agree with what you're saying.
Football.
But then you get late developers like Ian Wright at Arsenal when he was at Palace before he went to Arsenal.
So why did they pay 47 million?
They're not many. There's not many that are late developers, but you do get them.
Yeah,
And
but
besides
all
that-
these
and some
Adrian,
players
if you
say-
think Brennan Johnson's going to be the next Ian Wright, I'm willing to bet my house on this.
No, I don't.
I'm willing to bet
No,
my
I don't,
entire house
Stefan.
that I live in on this.
No, I don't. Right?
No, I'm prepared to do it. I'm prepared to do it.
No, I don't.
These
Even
excuses
you
only
don't
seem to
believe
be
Brennan
valid
Johnson's
at
going to be Ian
Spurs.
Wright, man.
Only
Ian
at
Wright.
Spurs, these excuses are valid. Only at Spurs. No other club
No,
works
spot
like
on.
that.
Spot on, mate.
No other
Spot
club.
on, mate.
No, do you know what? The
Spot
biggest
on.
point that you got is the people that recruit at Spurs.
Well,
When
what do you
would they
expect?
be-
Okay, then fine.
Hang
So
on,
all
hang
of you
on,
on the
hang on,
panel,
hang on,
what do you
hang on.
expect of
Wait,
Saar,
Adrian, let him
you
finish.
doggy,
Adrian,
the
let him
20-year-old?
Yeah, mute him. Mute him. Carry on.
When are the people that recruit
Go.
the people that recruit, guys, when are they going to be held accountable? These people that scout for these players and they don't succeed, when are they held accountable? If I was at work and I'm working recruitment and none of my employees or 80% of them are not working out and I've only got a success rate of 20%, surely at some point I'm going to be held accountable.
We've changed 7
An owner that hires and fires 17 managers in 24 years. When is that person going to start becoming accountable?
Well, he's
When
not.
are
Shit doesn't roll
people
uphill.
getting?
Iggy,
When
shit
are
doesn't
the
roll uphill,
people?
mate.
No. But when do these? Yeah, but the thing is, when do these people that recruit? So you got the director of football. You got the scouting recruitment. You got the owner of the club. When do these guys become accountable? Before we start attacking the players, before we go into the managers themselves, I think they're culpable. Surely are. Of course they are. They also got a job, and they get paid. They get paid very well to do it. That's fine. But how long do we keep doing that year after year without the people holding them
Yeah,
accountable?
but Iggy, doesn't the manager turn around at that stage? If by what you're saying, if a scout at Tottenham, a head scout, whoever it is, turns around and goes, Ange, I've got Brennan Johnson here. If I'm the manager, I'm going, I don't want him. Yeah, but we've scouted him. I don't want him. I don't want him. He doesn't bring anything to the table.
Then if that is what the recruitment team are bringing to me, and I don't want that, then these two teams cannot work together.
I fail to believe it. I just think he's got bad talent ID.
Maybe. I want to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, but then
on
Poch had bad ID.
I don't know.
Bad ID.
No.
Bad ID. Everyone did then.
No. But he's the only one that turned around and said they come through the door if I sign them.
See that's what's fucked him up. That's what him saying those very words. We always said 6 months down the line.
That's why Maz said he wants to stop
him.
talking. Maz did say I want him to stop.
He also said we're going to challenge for the title next season. I don't know what universe he lives in, but anyway.
Can't defend it.
I don't
If
know.
it's between challenge and winning, we know where we're going to challenge.
I love Ange. I do like him. I do like him. I want to give him a little bit more time, but some of the things that he's come out with, such as that line there,
Iggy,
and some other times, I'm like, mate, pipe it down, man.
Do you know what he did?
For your own doing.
Let Spurs speak.
Go on, Has.
He's setting everyone a dream, yeah, by saying we're title challengers next season. So I'm holding himself accountable to his words, yeah, like we said about the signings, yeah. So if we don't, like me and TJ in the same boat with this now, if you don't challenge for the title next season and you're accepting all the signings, they're all yours, then it all's going to come down to you. So
Has, do you know what? This is the problem with our fan base. I know I always get in trouble for talking about our fan base, but this is the problem, right? Stel, we talked about this earlier. Ange could give an hour press conference. If he ends the press conference by saying this sentence, which he did say this week, by the way, he did say this. He said, we are building a team that will get success.
Yes.
Right? Now, that sentence, what that's done is everybody now doesn't look at the signings. They don't look at the results. They don't look at the fact that we can't defend corners. They don't look at the fact that everybody is battering us at the moment. All they do is go, yeah, but Ange just said we're building a team that's going to get success. That's what they hang on to. Ange is waffling. Ange is saying these things with nothing to back him on this. Now, I'm going to go against what I said in the summer, right? This isn't Scotland. Right? Everyone keeps going, what he does in the second season. Yeah, but you took over Celtic, who are the Man City of Scotland. You took
And the
over the
16th
best
biggest league in the world.
But you took over the best club that can afford the best players. You're at Tottenham Hotspur, right? You're at Tottenham Hotspur, and you think that Brennan Johnsons and Timo Werners and Valises and Kulus and Solomons, you think that is what's going to close this 20-point gap at the moment, 20-point gap to the top. And our fans gobble it up. Our fans are gobbling it up. You watch next season what he does. I'll tell you what they'll do. Bookmark this, the 2nd of May next year, do another show still. I'll jump on and we'll be having the exact bloody conversation that we're having now. We had the exact conversation last year. We had it in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. It's the same every year.
Then he will be sacked, Sava. He will be sacked.
Well, that's the point.
I'm prepared to give him the second season. Look, we all know, right? This season's done, right? We're going to get Europa League. We only need 3 points basically to get there, right? We're going to get
lucky
there.
if we get that.
And, well, we've got Sheffield United and Burnley to play.
Might not even beat Burnley.
I think Burnley could beat us.
Liverpool, Man City, right? And Man United have to play Newcastle. So whether they win, lose, or draw, any result suits Spurs anyway. Because if we get a win, they virtually can't catch us. You know, so we're lucky to have the points in the bag. We've got a points gap, right? So, I mean, we going. Look. We don't know we're going to have next season after this transfer window. We say it every year, though, don't we? Like, you know, but I mean, this transfer window is going to be very revealing, right?
Adrian, you just don't get it.
Sorry,
you just don't get it
now.
Yeah,
why
I do
isn't
get
it
it.
revealing
No, you
now?
don't get it, bro. Because the thing is, you keep on saying, "No,
Alex,
you're going to give it. You're going to give it
right?
6. You're going to give him the second season. You're going to give him the second season.
Yes,
It's
of
not
course.
on you. It's
Hold
not
on,
on
hold
you.
on. And you were saying,
Yeah, but
in
it's not
so
on you,
many
though, bro.
podcasts before
Alex, he's saying he's prepared.
don't
He's
backtrack
prepared to
and
give him as a
and
fan.
Not the club,
you know,
Alex. He's
don't
saying he
backtrack
wants to
on
give him another
yourself
season.
because you're the one who's been saying in so many podcasts, we've got to back this manager. We've got to give him time.
No, I didn't say that.
Now
I said the club have got to back the manager, bro.
Coming with bullshit.
The
mate.
club.
I know you're full,
club.
you're full of it anyway. You're
No.
full of bullshit anyway.
Again,
No,
you
you're
don't
just full of
listen. You didn't
crap
listen to
anyway,
me.
most of the time.
You have
You
not
are.
listened. Yeah,
Adrian,
but
calmer.
Adrian, again, you obviously did not listen to me.
You just full of crap. You just don't.
Okay, cool.
No personal.
Okay, cool, Adrian. That's cool because that's fuel for me just to come back at you. My point is, yeah, right? Yeah, bro. The point is, yeah, you didn't listen to me. It's the club.
Alex, Adrian, I've muted you both. Listen to me. Attack your arguments. Do not attack the person. Adrian, you attacked him. Don't do that, or I've got to remove you. Okay, please. We're having a good show. Let's keep it good. Do not attack each other.
The club, the club, right, are the ones that need to back the manager. That's the point. That is the point. If they back the manager, when our fans are saying "and out," right, like Arsenal did with Arteta, which I've said about the 100th time this season now, and still people can't understand me. Yeah, and even someone who has known Ange for 20 years understands me, right? The fact is, yeah, if they do what Arsenal did with Arteta, stuck with their man, right, that shows me this is long term, right? But there is no
Alex. Earlier on, I said I think it was just before you came on. I said, why is no other representation from the clubs coming out with a statement and saying this is the man that we are moving forward to? Because that tells you two things. You believe in what you're doing, but you're also at the same time are held accountable in what you set out to do. The same, like as silly as that message that Sava said about what Ange said about success. At least this guy. It's a bit far fetched. Of course it is, but at least he's putting himself out there to saying this is what he's come to Spurs to do. He wants to bring success at Spurs. Now, of course, he's a million miles away from Man City, Liverpool, and whoever else. But he's come out and said, like,
Iggy,
I wanted to bring success.
Iggy,
but I get it. It maybe not now. Now wasn't the time for it.
Iggy,
every other manager's come in that
your own question.
Every other manager's coming here to get a paycheck, man. Every other manager's coming over to get a paycheck. No one's coming into
let Maz speak. Let Maz reply. Go on, Maz.
You've half answered your own question in a way, right? Jose didn't come here not to win anything, right? Conte didn't come here not to win anything. They all came here to win, right? The fact that we're willing to pay them loads of money and give them excellent payouts when they get sacked, that's Levy's problem and the representation who negotiates the contract. Nothing to do with the managers. If we want top quality managers, you've got to pay for it. End of story, right? Just because Andrew's come in and said, "Oh, I want to, do this. I'm not interested in finishing fourth." It's the same thing that the last two previous managers have said. So why is he any different? He's not different. He just says things in a more diplomatic way, and in fact, he probably says things that G up the fan base, all right, and has whipped us up into this frenzy, and now it's all come crashing down.
Yeah, but Maz, do you believe that he doesn't believe in what he's saying? He's just coming out just to please.
I think every manager believes in what they're saying until they get levied. Basically,
so guys,
right?
I just got a couple of super chats we've got to catch up on. I'll be really quick. Got one here from Christopher who said, "Can someone help me on this one? In all the years we've had Levy, we've had young players in the under-21s, under-18s team. Why have the managers never used it?" We did speak on this a bit earlier, Krista. Sorry, I missed your super chat when you said that. Dietrich says, "Can we please talk about the Senegalese Bambi on ice?" We are going to get into the team and the match itself now. We will.
Still, don't get me started in the academy. All right.
No, I won't. Don't worry. Big up, Jorical. Thanks for tuning in. He says, "Losing to Tottenham Hotspur FC at home is a taboo that you don't cross at Chelsea. The institution is about never losing games like Tottenham at home. Tottenham Hotspur, only taboo is losing money." And do you know what? Doesn't that sum it up?
Yeah, perfect.
Where's the pride?
Right.
Where's the fight? Where's the...
Perfect.
Yeah.
One point quick.
I just want to complete my point,
Go on,
Dan, and I'll let
Go on,
you go.
mate. That's fine. No, go on, mate.
Iggy, you said about why doesn't any other representation come out and say in regards to them backing the manager and the project? Well, they won't ever do that because that will effectively set standards for them to meet, and they'll never commit to them setting standards to meet. Right?
God forbid having standards at work.
Exactly,
God forbid.
exactly, right?
God forbid.
And what the club, what we all want as a fan base is for Levy to come out and say, "Look, here's my 5-year plan, right? And by the end of this 5-year plan, we'll have either won the FA Cup or the league, right? And I'm going to put the money to back whoever I bring in to implement this project." But they've never done that. All we hear is we've got our Tottenham back. We want to play nice football.
Imagine at work, standards, targets, success. Imagine these words being mentioned at work.
Exactly.
God forbid.
Right, can I
Only
throw a
at Spurs
curveball?
I hear this. Only at Spurs.
Guys,
Never,
I want to throw a big curveball, and it is a big one because we don't have no history to back it. But I do want to throw it out there because we can't write this off. If we write this off, we're being a bit disingenuous. But the chances are it's not going to happen. I remember Arteta's first couple of seasons. Right now, the football was shit. They were getting bashed up by West Brom. The play wasn't progressing like fans would want. Yeah, he won an FA Cup. Hats off to him. But he also made some shitty signings. There was that short lad from Sampdoria that came into midfield, Torreira, Nicolas Pepe. There was some dross that they signed as well, right? It's only last year and this year we look back and say, do you know what? They've done well to keep him and let him build. Is it a case that just maybe Spurs might do the same with Ange? Because this exact same thing I saw at Arsenal, and they all wanted Arteta out. They didn't believe in no process. They came eighth.
Still, 3 things happen at Arsenal.
I'm just throwing it out there because that could.
3 things happen at Arsenal with Arteta.
I agree with Iggy before he says it.
Bring Iggy.
One of them. Hang on.
What
3
is this?
things.
What is this?
In my opinion, 3 things happen. One,
Yeah.
the board were very vocal in backing Arteta. Very vocal. So they made it very clear they weren't going anywhere. So they were completely like. They were hearing the Arteta's out, but they were telling them to fuck off. They were sticking with him. That's the first thing. The second thing, hang on. The second thing was they cut the cord with the likes of Ozil, Aubameyang, taking a massive loss. That's backing the manager and getting rid of players who are no longer needed at the club. And last but not third, what helped Arteta as well was under the COVID thing, no fans in the stadium. Keeping them away whilst he was still rebuilding as a massive, massive factor that can't go under. But look, credit to him, man, because and the club were backing him.
Iggy, we can't create COVID, right? So we
No,
can't
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
I know you're not.
That
Iggy,
was one factor of the three.
I know. I'm just saying we can't give Ange
of course. The other two,
so
we can do.
Right, so the other two. What if this summer we see that with those transfers where they get rid of those? Right, we're gonna have to wait till this summer.
A lot of
because
players,
he never got rid of Ozil and what's his name, Lacazette straight away. It took a year. So what if we do the same? What if we do the same, and the board come out and back him? Is it okay? So what I'm saying to you now, that is just to respond to what you said. Do we have to wait till this summer to see?
No.
Why not, Sava?
Listen, to back but to back what Iggy was saying, can we look at the fundamental thing at Arsenal as well? They changed the ownership structure as well. I feel like I'm right in saying that, right? That it was the son.
He brought his son. He brought his son in to deal with it.
And things started to change.
But we brought in Scott Munn, Lange.
Yeah, but they're not owners.
Who are they?
They're not owners, right? They bought in Kroenke, or the son, or whatever. No, hang on. But there's a difference. We've still got Levy in charge. The difference is, one, can you see Daniel Levy ripping up contracts for people like Ndombele?
No.
Ripping up, right? We've even got fans, as Adrian said, we don't want to change. We don't want to move players on. We want to keep the Sons. We want to keep the Lo Celsos. We want to keep the Ben Davises. That's what we do. It's what we do as a football club. Yeah. And the most important thing is, you look at what Arsenal did this summer. Arsenal made one signing this summer, which our fan base, right, ridiculed. Our fan base ridiculed, laughed. What a waste of money. 105 million, right? They went out and bought an absolute top class midfielder, not someone who failed at Juventus, not someone who was a maybe from Brighton, right? Not a 20-year-old, not an 18-year-old Senegalese kid from Metz or wherever he came from. They went and took a seasoned England international that was captain of his club, that was the best player at his club. They slapped down 105 million and went, go on, transform our midfield. And how bloody good is he? Now, that's only one player. Can you ever see us doing that with a player like Declan Rice? Ever? Have we ever, under Levy, signed a player like Declan Rice that goes into our midfield?
So that I agree. And we
said
are
we're not signing expensive signings,
bruised because we have so many players to get rid of.
No,
let me finish.
That wasn't my point.
I can list 13, right? You've got Skipped. Never going to get in the team because he barely makes the squad, right? And he's not going to get a game, especially as he knows we're looking to bring in another midfielder. Then you've got Lo Celso, that's 2.
Adrian, please
Hold
don't
on. You've got Roden, that's 3. Regular at Brentford, 4.
But this wasn't my point.
Ndombele, shit, 6. You got Spence, 7 at Genoa.
Yeah, Adrian, we know the players.
Adrian, but that wasn't my point.
10.
Adrian, that wasn't my point. Adrian, stop.
Charles and Werner, 13 players. You need to get rid of them and get better players in.
That wasn't my point, Adrian. That wasn't my point. I know the crap that needs to go. My point is this. Spurs could sell all 13 of those players. We are not going out ever and making a game-changing signing like Arsenal did in the summer. We do not do it. I mean, let's be really honest in this panel, right? How bloody good is Declan Rice? Every game you watch him, he's an 8/9 out of 10.
Yeah.
He runs Arsenal's midfield.
He plays a lot of games, man. He plays a lot of games.
So you can take corners.
So even if we sold the entire squad, that's not what we do. What we do is we have fans that turn around and go, oh, Bentancur's world class. No, Bentancur shouldn't be fit to lace Declan Rice's boots, right? Papa Sarr, he's going to be amazing. He's not. There's nothing about him at all. He's athletic. He runs around a lot. But our fans put them on pedestals up here, right? I'm calling it as it is because I hear every year. Sorry, I'm so frustrated because look, Iggy, I've worked with you for a number of years. Stell, I've worked with you for a number of years. Alex, with Danny, we've worked. We've all worked together. we could be having this conversation this time next year, 2026, 27, 28,
The
29.
process never begins in eliminating the shit. It doesn't begin.
And it
There's
doesn't
no,
begin
you
in
can't cut the
changing
cord.
it.
Yeah,
But look at the point on this. Arsenal go and spend 105 million on Declan Rice. We go and spend 65 million on Richarlison or 45 million on Johnson.
Right.
Game over.
Right. Now imagine you put that money together, Dan, right?
That's true. That's true.
Guys, can I have
This
a
is what
say?
we do. This is
Yeah.
what we do.
I got to make a move, right? It's about 7 a.m. in Malaysia now. But guys, yeah, thanks for having me on, Stel. Good to see all you guys in the chats, right? And the panel. And guys, we know this. We've done this before. We've been through this before, right? It's rinse and repeat. We keep arguing about it, right? Are the fans right? Are the owners right? And we all know one thing, right? Majority of us on this panel have an ambition to win something. We want a trophy. We want a league, right? I've not seen us win a league at all in my lifetime. You get what I'm saying? None of us here, I don't, apart from Adrian maybe, right? I've seen us win a league, right? 1 cup in 16 years doesn't justify all this, guys, right? And the best part is that our owners have played this game to play the fan base against each other. Instead, there's only one focus. If you want to win something, we have to push the buttons. We have to force them, their hand, right, to support the manager. I understand what Alex is saying. Are we going to sit here and wait to see whether Levy is going to go through a project with Ange? Right? Or if Ange can't get Europe in the next 2 years, is he going to get sacked?
Problem is, Eugene, I go to Maz's point. He said earlier, we don't know where the project is heading. They didn't tell us where the project is.
We've been in a project for the past 4 years.
What is the project?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is no end game. Like, I don't know what the end game is.
Because
they're winging it, man.
True has no transparency.
The project is right.
Adrian, let Eugene finish.
Let me finish. After I'm finished, I got the ENIC project, right, is to gentrify the whole Tottenham area, right, and turn it into Mayfair.
Levy land, yeah.
Not even Levy land. Levy land won't cost the money. The land won't be that expensive. He'll turn to Mayfair, right, or something like that. Then he'll be satisfied, guys. And as always, Levy out.
See you later, Eugene. Make sure everyone's
Right, Eugene. Great to hear from Eugene.
Big up to Eugene.
Big up, Eugene.
I'll bring Charlie in. Right, guys. So listen, I want to get into the game itself. Let's discuss it. But before we begin the game,
wait, guys, one more thing.
Oh no!
Yes,
Sorry, no. Look, we were talking about Arsenal getting Rice, but that took 4 years. Ange is in his first year. We're not going to expect Ange to get 100 million.
No. Forget Ange. Charlie, forget Ange. This is the process that's been happening
24 years.
There's nothing that Ange. We're not putting it on Ange. But I'm saying what happened under Conte, Nuno, Jose, AVB, and Joe. I mean, do you want me to go? We can go through all the managers, but
Iggy,
if you look at the story, it's always been the same.
Arsenal also in that time. Arsenal
also
also in that time went and signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was one of the hottest strikers in the world when they weren't even in the Champions League. They went and signed Mesut Ozil, who, whether it worked or not, was one of the hottest properties in football at the time, playing for Real Madrid. I'm using Declan Rice as this example. Arsenal for years have gone out and bought top footballers.
I mean,
we never do.
For 70 million. It was a
Ange Postecoglou, his words were, we aren't going to sign
I'm saying that when you spend
superstar players, we're not going to spend £100 million on a superstar players. He said, we don't do that here at Tottenham. I don't think we ever will. He goes, that's for our competitors. That's what he said. So we can't.
Which ironically makes them not our competitors.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that is the daftest statement I think I've heard a Spurs manager
it's a
maybe
strange
say.
one, isn't it? It's a strange.
I think he was honest though, Maz. I think he was honest with that.
Does he just confirm he's the yes man then?
We go. This is what I'm going to say here.
Yeah.
Is Ange just got poor taste in players?
Yes.
Is he a liar,
Yes.
or is he a puppet? Because when
It's
he
hard to-
blatantly stands there and he shot himself in the foot blatantly with what
Well,
he said.
Dan, it's just PR. What managers say in public.
Yes, but if a manager
thinking
is
about
stupid enough to stand there in front of his fans and then say, I'm going to go for the title next season. I pick every player that comes into this club, but we're going to go for quantity, not quality.
Yeah.
Dan, he's been levied, and it happens to every
From
man.
day one. From
He's
day
been
one.
levied, mate. They're the same thing.
Still, I don't think he has. I don't think
maybe
he
yes.
has. We've got to remember, this is a manager that this is the best group of players he's ever had. Whether we want to believe it or not, this is the best he's ever had.
Right.
I don't know if he knows what good is. If he's looking at Brennan Johnson's and thinking, you know what, I want that guy, that's not the right manager, right? Brennan Johnson would be decent in Scotland, wouldn't he? He'd probably get 15, 16 goals in Scotland.
Yeah,
right?
in Scotland would be good, yeah.
So when we say he's been levied, I feel like Conte and Jose were levied because whether we like their style or not, that's a different conversation. They're natural winners. They're winning managers. We've seen them do it. And I feel like he's come in and think, you know what, I'm going to show everyone that my style works. His style don't work.
Savo,
Yeah?
you're missing something really important, mate. There's different gradings of being Levy, right? The way he's been the way he's been levied is Levy has effectively said to him, look, mate, we're never going to go and buy these top quality players, so don't even think it. Basically,
I don't even think I don't think he'd know what to do with top quality players.
No,
let's
I don't
be
think he would
let's be
either.
brutally honest. If he had,
I don't think he gives a shit.
If he had some of these Man City players and tried to play his tactics here, and everyone says, I've seen some outright whoppers in the last few weeks from Spurs fans. Like, I'm not going to say names, but somebody went on and said the only difference between Spurs and Man City is we wear white and they wear blue, right?
Yeah.
Watch Man City play. Man City don't play anything like Ange's style of football. Yes, they've got better players, but they are all superbly drilled on where to be. Ange's formation and setup is suicide. And within 5 minutes of today's game, there was one ball over the top to Nicholas Jackson. And to be fair, good save by Vicario. But straight away you went, every manager's done their homework. These tactics are diabolical. And
I was saying that when we were in our winning streak, I was actually saying on the Monday night shows, I'm a little bit confused by his tactics. And Stell and everyone was like looking at me thinking, what's he going on about? These tactics are brilliant because we were winning, right? But I think, was it our first game when Emerson Royale scored? Who did we play again?
Brentford,
right?
Brentford.
And I said, if he thinks that Emerson Royale is going to invert and be an integral part of this attacking lineup, he's nuts. All right. And
I agree.
I hate being proved wrong like this, but it's like he's mad for carrying on this philosophy. There's one thing drilling a philosophy into someone and sticking by it, but I also think it will have a detrimental effect if you go way beyond what's reasonable in drilling something in. And that's what's happening now. The players are thinking, hold on, this is not working, we're getting pumped, right? And then they lose faith.
One thing I can say,
guys, I really want to get onto the game because it's been 2 hours. We haven't even spoken about the match. We've spoken about everything but that.
Do we even want to?
Just very quickly, a couple of super chats came in. Let me do them before I forget again. Olu says, people mock it, but Arteta's phases make sense. Do you know what? There's a fourth point I'll add to what Iggy said about the difference at Arsenal. 10,000 Arsenal fans descended on the Emirates and protested against the Cronkies. They had a massive protest. We don't protest inside, outside, in numbers at all. Alan says, honest question, who do you expect Levy to sell the club to other than another billionaire capitalist who sees maximum revenue potential in the club? It's a great question, my man. I'll come back to this one because I do want to get onto the game, Alan.
Can I make
let's
one
get to the game itself
when you're done?
Sorry, mate?
Can I just make one quick point?
Go for it. Last point, then we get onto the match. Go for it.
I'm probably the freshest one on here. I've only been doing this about 10 months. And the first time I came on here, thanks to Sava, was a big debate with him. The two I've known the longest, Sava, Mr. Box Office. After 10 games, I don't know if you remember Sava and you remember Alex. We was on the show together with a few others and that. And us three all agreed that this is suicide football. It ain't going to win a league.
It's not sustainable, is what we said.
This is going to come back and bite us. And all three of us copped it for Big time. You two more than me because you two were known. But we said this from day one that this is not going to work. The Premiership is too good to play this way every time. Alex, from day one, you said your stuff as well about you'll believe it when you see the club go for it. The rest of you, I didn't know you then, so obviously I can't vouch for you. But you two, I can vouch on that one.
Dan, can I just say one thing, right? Coach's hat on now. I actually see what Andrew's trying to do with the football, and I actually agree with him. Shock horror shit. Here we go. I actually believe with him. The only thing where I stand on where I don't agree with him, and this is why I'm prepared to give him till Christmas, is he has got to show me that he can adapt, because if the opposition adapts to you, you need to adapt to how they've adapted. And the other thing I need to see from him is if I see the caliber of Werner and Johnson's signed this summer, I'm done. Because no manager in any system is winning diddly squat with those players. So I just.
But still, what is he trying to do? When you said you can see,
Eugene wants to go, so he just wants to say a few things before he goes.
Yeah,
Who's
no. Yes.
Yeah, go on, Eugene. Sorry, mate. You haven't spoken ages.
I gotta go. Just a couple of things I wanted to get.
Speak your mind. Speak your mind. Yeah.
Bissouma and Kulusevski. I know everybody's hating on Johnson, which is fair. He's not good enough, but I feel like it's a low-hanging fruit. Everybody knows he's not good enough to be in the squad. But I feel like some players who are good enough are letting us down every single game. Kulusevski, Bissouma, Madison. And I think we need to spend more time talking about those guys, and whether, again, it's the tactics or whether it's them, right? And I think like it's them. I don't want to see Bissouma play on the team again. I don't want to see Kulusevski play on the team again. It's very frustrating seeing them lose every individual matchup, every single game we play. Our midfield today was non-existent.
Adrian, he hasn't spoken all show. Let him finish.
That's it. I'm just saying that those players, talent-wise, should be good enough to win their individual matchups. And every single week, they're not good enough. And that's not due to talent. That's due to their effort.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I disagree because, I actually thought in that first half, although we were total crap, I thought VDV and Bissouma was actually showing signs of what he did when we were playing one of them first 10 games at the stadium, when he was making himself available in space, willing to receive the ball and try and do something with it. And I thought
he was better than
him and VDV, I actually thought they were the only two of our players that looked okay. And actually, when he was taken off, I thought, for fuck's sake, why are you taking Bissouma off? Because I actually thought he wasn't doing. I mean, we were shit, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't as bad as the rest, you know. No, I don't know what you guys thought. What do you guys think about it?
I disagree. I thought it was really lazy.
Guys, can we get into the players when we
it's the first time I agree with Has. Bissouma was lazy, and
he didn't give.
I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I am going to talk about the match. Let's get into the match. Eugene, are you staying or are you going?
Thanks, guys.
He's off. All right, guys. Big up to
Cheers,
Eugene.
Respect.
Had a good one. Bring Iggy back. All right, let's get into the match itself.
I think Mario's on for 5 minutes still.
Sorry?
I think Mario's only jumped on for 5 minutes, I think. So I don't know. I'll leave
Are you here for 5 minutes only?
Yeah, I have to have my say.
Have your say, Mari.
Come on, let's have the rant. Let's have the rant. Let's have the rant, mate.
Yeah, man. Just dross. I told you guys I've been checked out for the last two after the Newcastle game. Officially checked out. Just checked out. I just watched the game so I can have content, some input. But I'm just checked out. I feel the way I feel how I felt last season at this time, and I'm just checked out. And this is not good on Ange, because here's the reason. We said this in the last show, right? Poch's first year, right? He finishes 5th, but he finishes 5th on a good momentum. We may still somewhat finish 5th on a 6-game losing streak. This is not good, and the football has been atrocious. And I'm checked out. And I'm telling you, I know my club. We're going to sign Aziz, right? And then we're going to sign Lloyd Kelly.
And Werner as well, Murray. Werner's coming as well, then.
Yeah. And mind you, we won't do shit.
50 mil.
We won't do shit in the Europa League. So it's the same old story. I'm telling you, by December, Ange will be gone. Ange will be gone by December. Guarantee he will be gone by December.
No.
Because it's the same old script.
No.
It's the same old thing. You know,
No.
Mari, why are you being negative? Did you see the game today? Did you see the game today? What positive thing can you get?
Mari, come back to me when you're upgraded to poison like me. You haven't reached.
I mean, yeah, it's just I don't. I'm like Saba. I laughed today.
I think it's funny.
It's funny. It's becoming funny. I let off the steam the Newcastle game. I let all of my steam. Now I'm just laughing. My rants are just not. All I can do is just laugh because it's a joke. Brendan Johnson is like he's like not the human being. His play, it's garbage. It's garbage level. When I fell in love with this team, we had, like I said, we had Berbatov. We had Jermaine Defoe, one of my favorite Spurs players of all time. Jermaine Defoe. We had Landon. We had Super Pam. Gareth Bale. Now we got shit players like Timo Werner. Brian Hill today felt like a twig. I'm just laughing. It's trash.
That was a desperate substitution, wasn't it, Brian Hill?
Do you think our fans need to take accountability as well? Because I get more abuse. Today,
100%.
let me tell you something today. I got called by a big account. I won't mention the name. I got called by a big account.
Mention the names. Don't.
No. I won't. No. Because I'm speaking to him tomorrow to try and sort this out.
Do it to me in private, then. Yeah.
He said to me privately, that's fine. He said to me publicly as well. He did it. He goes, "You're a nutter. You live to hate Spurs, and you're only happy. You're only happy when we fail." He goes, "Who the hell lives like that?" And I couldn't believe what came out of this man's mouth, right? And my reply was, "Yeah, I hate when we fail. That's why I'm out in the rain protesting to get rid of these owners because we've been failing for 24 years." What the fuck are you anyway? But that sums it up for me because he's the same guy with, I believe, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Spurs fans that told us Timo Werner's a good bit of business, good signing, one of the best wingers in Europe. Brennan Johnson, be patient, going to come good. You see, Richarlison's proving you wrong. You shat on him. Are our fans a problem for getting sucked in and believing bullshit?
They're hypocrites, Stel. They're hypocrites. Are you watching the shows? They're turning on him right now. They're hypocrites.
We're too accepting. That's what we are at Spurs.
Look on
I feel a lot of fans. They say things that you want to hear because they're too afraid.
Media brainwashing. It's media brainwashing. Basically,
I feel they're too scared. I feel they're too scared to say what needs to be said in case people don't like them for saying it. But it's the truth. Like, are our fans partly to blame as well, guys, for allowing this? Or is that too hard?
We're too accepting. I've said it to
my last question. My last question for the fans who say, "Oh, this is beautiful football." Are you entertained? Are you entertained?
No,
I'm bored.
I'm bored. Thank you,
Mari. The football, Mari. I'm so bored of hearing the media and fans say, "Yeah, but we play attacking football." I think this is one of the worst attacking teams I've seen. I feel like we've got no build-up play at all. Everything's just reactionary. And to answer Stel's question about are the fans the problem? Look, the worrying thing for me, Stel, is
part of the problem.
Part of the problem. The worrying thing for me is we're absolutely brainwashed as a fan base. When I had my channel, how many shows did I have to go on and be told that I'm negative for saying Spurs aren't in a title race? How many shows did I have to go on and get told, "Oh, you're not a real Spurs fan because I don't want crap like Timo Werner in my football team. Right? This is the problem.
They're blind.
Today, right? I'm not on social
They're
media
blind.
anymore. Right?
They're blinded by their own nonsense, man.
I'm
Sorry.
not on any social media anymore, right? But I'm in WhatsApp groups where I see all these things come in from Twitter and Facebook. The comments I see, you would think that Papa Sarr is Patrick Vieira, the way our fans talk about him. You would think that Son is Ronaldinho reincarnated. You would think that Porro is Dani Alves. The way we talk about our players is embarrassing. We keep doing these 1-11s, and there's 8 Spurs players in every team. I saw someone the other day said, "What's the Man City Tottenham 1-11?" And I said to this person, I'm not going to name names. This is in a WhatsApp group. And I said, not one Spurs player gets in that Man City team. Not one. Oh my God, this one. I went, what are we smoking? What are we doing here? And
me has no person like that is deluded. He tried to say to me that Werner's better than Trossard.
Until we get out,
I was there.
Until we get out of this delusion as a fan base, and I'll call it out. I'm going to call it out. This is big channels. I'll call it out. I know you're friends with them. I watched Real Tottenham TV the other day. I'll call them out. I don't mind. I'm not saying anything bad about them. But rather than be honest, we're sitting there having debates with Arsenal fans about why Timo Werner should get into a combined 11 with Arsenal. Why
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Why Papa Sarr gets into a Tottenham Arsenal combined 11. Why Romero's better than Saliba and Gabriel? I'm sitting listening to all these people and going, you don't deserve success. And I stand by that. Those fans don't deserve success because they praise mediocrity.
Why do you think I went on Real Tottenham TV?
Right. They praise mediocrity. I saw those people going, Lo Celso deserves that 2-year extension. He's had 5 years. What's he done?
5 years.
What's he done? Ben Davies.
I went on We Are Tottenham TV and I famously now said, if we sign Timo Werner, I'm Ange out, right? And he got clipped. Fine, I had my say. At least they let me have my say. If you see the 400 comments of that clip, the hate, the abuse, because I said, if we sign Timo Werner, people really think he's good. A lot of fans think he's really good.
What did Simon Jordan say about him today? I messaged you still, didn't I? He called him. What did he call him?
Oh, mate, that was funny.
I sent you something earlier. Remember, still, it was about
crap.
On Talk Sport.
He called him he called him a speedboat with the brain of an idiot or something. But this is the thing.
I've got it here.
As a fan base, when we go to sign players like Timo Werner, collectively as a fan base, I saw the Man United fans because they were linked with him. And I'm going in 1 minute still, by the way. So I'll just rant and then I'll drop off.
Speedboat with no brain.
A speedboat with no brain, right? So I promise I'm going in 1 minute, right? When we're linked with players like Timo Werner, as a collective fan base, if we've got anything about us at all, we should all sit there and go, this is shit, right? Say with Brennan Johnson, this is shit. What we do is the opposite to what the big clubs do. Man United, who are below us, their fan base, when they were linked with Werner 3 days before, if you remember, they were starting a petition, say no to Werner. We had half a fan base going, this is the best we can get. Look how good he is. People bringing up all these different tools to show why his stats are good.
I've got a campaign going.
Still, until we all get on the same page.
That's because you're cruel, right?
Until we all get on the same page still, nothing's going to change. In the
I know,
summer,
exactly.
we're going to sign someone basic like a Lloyd Kelly.
Yep.
Right. And our fan base will go, actually, I think that's a really smart signing because Man City aren't signing Lloyd
And
Kelly.
wants him. I want him.
Right. And on that note,
that's literally it.
I'm going, you know why? I'm bored of being called negative and I'm bored of being proven right year in, year out about this football club. So, Adrian, give your players 2 years contract extensions. Believe in Brennan Johnson.
Keep being delusional. Keep being delusional.
Adrian, let me tell you something, right?
All right, go on.
You can call me delusional all you want. Tell me where I've been wrong about Tottenham Hotspur.
Where?
Tell me where. Everything I predicted at the beginning of the season.
Well, it's easy to be
has
negative
come
and
true.
predict things that go wrong. So
No,
if you don't want
no.
Ange as a manager, we sack him.
No, Adrian. That's not. Adrian. You've gone off on a little tangent. You haven't answered the question at all. I said to you, right? Tell me what I've been wrong about. Now you can say it's easy to be negative.
Well, you
right?
were wrong about Romero when you said to me Romero wasn't a good player. You were wrong about. No, you did it.
I didn't say Romero's not a good player. I just don't. No.
And you
Don't
did
lie,
it about
Adrian.
Kulusevski as well.
Right. Okay. And he isn't good.
And you said he was wrong. So to me, you were wrong.
You always said Romero is not world class.
Adrian. No, see
And he's
again,
not.
Adrian. This is the thing. Danny will back me up.
No, it's not.
Adrian, what I said was Romero's a good player.
No, you didn't. No, you.
Yes, he did. Yes, no, I'm sorry. Guys, hear me out. Let's agree, guys. Let's agree to disagree. I really want to talk about the match.
Absolutely slated
Adrian,
that is a blatant lie. So don't come
Adrian,
to me with a fucking blatant lie, Sava. Yeah.
Whoa. But Adrian, do you need a pill? Do you need a pill or something? You're very angry. You're very angry.
No,
Guys, let's take a chill pill.
I remember it.
Everyone chill. Everyone chill.
I'm chill. He's very angry.
Guys. I've muted you both. I love you both. Please. I want to talk about the match. No, because both of you are arguing. Both of you.
I didn't know. I asked a question as to
Hang on. Adrian, I'm talking to Stel. He's getting angry with you, and you're not going to
Stel.
Shout
I
you.
asked the question, what did I get wrong about Tottenham Hotspur? Not about an individual player. Tell me what I've got wrong about this club in the last decade. Every season, it is obvious what's going to happen. And every season you get fans like the person getting angry at me who go, you'll see next year, or give him another contract, or you're delusional. But it never changes. It never changes. So what am I wrong about? I don't understand. How long have we known each other?
Adrian, 10 years. 10 years.
And what's changed?
Nothing's changed, mate. Nothing's changed.
From what I'm understanding, Sava's asking you if he said anything wrong about the club, not individual players.
The club.
That's what I'm understanding.
Listen, on a different podcast, Sava came across and said that like Romero is shit.
No, that's not what he just asked you. That's not what he asked you.
The club.
This is
the club. Wait, sorry, Adrian. The way
that's fine. I ain't got a problem.
No, the way the club is run. The way the club is
run.
No, the club is run shit.
Oh, you agree? Okay.
Right. So what am I? You call me delusional about what?
Well, you was going on about players, and you was going on about, and you went on about in a previous podcast. You
No. Tonight, before we
no.
talked about this, you said, Sava, I continue being delusional because I said about Brennan Johnson. You said keep being delusional.
No, I don't like I didn't want Brennan Johnson. I didn't want him. I'm on record of not wanting him.
What
I don't
am
want Turner, not for 15
what am I delusional about?
4-year contract, 165k a week.
So what am I delusional about? You notice he doesn't answer any questions. What am I delusional about?
Huh?
What have I been delusional about?
I think there's a mistranslation in this context.
Yeah,
he's talking about one thing.
He's not answering the question.
You're talking about another thing.
Sava, the thing I will back you up on here, 110%, and I think everybody on here should know me by now. If I think you're wrong, I will blatantly say it. I will back you on this one all the way, mate. Me and you have debated it a fair few times, and the thing you've always said is Romero is can even be a quality player, but he's not world class. That is what you have stated every single time. I don't care if he's world class.
Why is this thing about what players being world class?
But he's never said his shit. He has never ever said that.
Your team.
I can back you on that one.
Why do you have a debate whether like a player's world class? I don't care if people class Son as world class or not, or whether he was or he wasn't.
I never said his shit.
Right?
But
I don't give a shit about it. Is he good enough for my team? That is all I'm concerned with.
Sure, but I never said his shit.
I'm overruling everyone. I'm going to talk about the game, and I'm going to do it now. All right? Tough.
Before I leave, still, I want to say one thing.
God,
I'm going as well. I've got to go. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that up there. Yeah. See you later, guys. Take care.
Big up,
See you later.
Let me say one last thing, though. I don't know if you guys said this because I
by the time I talk about the game, it's going to be the Liverpool match.
Yeah, I heard the post conference. Just to sum it up, these last 2 weeks, I don't know what's going on with Ange, but he needs to put a muzzle over it because his
Bro,
comments,
100%.
his comments,
It's running his mouth. It's running his mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been through this already.
I mean, people were complaining
Well
about
said, Murray.
Conte's.
Well said, mate.
People were complaining about Conte's press conferences last season, but he was telling the truth and making sense. And
he's lying. He's lying.
Like BSing and like saying,
yeah. I hate
I
that.
don't know what's wrong with this dude. Like, I'm like, yo, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just take the loss. Move on to Liverpool.
Murray, he's digging himself his own hole. Is he his own
This is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why I can't fully trust him, because he's a liar. He's a liar, and he lies every single week.
Oh, that's a bit strong.
Listen. Look. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why he lies in it. Yeah, it's universal. And I will tell you, what is our biggest weakness? Set pieces. And this guy come out and said set pieces is not our problem. He's a liar, man. Come on, you have to call it how it is. He's saying we're going to title contend next year. He said,
"Come on."
No, he didn't say. He didn't say. He said.
Right?
He
What
said
managers, apart from Conte, what managers out there are going to come out, throw players under the bus, and not say good things after a game?
We're talking about set pieces here, not even players.
Do we all hear?
I'm not even talking about that, Adrian.
How many times do we hear in press conferences?
No, Adrian, you're changing the subject. This is specifically about the problem with the way the team plays, right? You are going off on a tangent.
It's not about throwing plays under the bus.
The manager said it is not our biggest priority. If it was our biggest problem,
exactly
I
what
would
he said.
focus on that. But clearly, if you're conceding, but the problem is if you're conceding every single game from set pieces, here's the stats. 4 of the last 5 Premier League goals Tottenham conceded have all come from set pieces. Spurs have got a real problem with those at the moment. So if our manager's saying that's not the biggest problem, when we can see factually it is, then maybe he's not a liar, but he's blind, maybe. Or he's just not accepting the reality.
You know what? Yeah, I was gonna come on here and say, listen, I don't know if this guy's blind or he needs to wash his eyes out or he needs to smoke some cocaine or something. But bruv, if I can see it, you can see it. My brothers can see it. My little brother can see it. My mum can see it, and she hates football. Bro, there's definitely a problem. Every single week, the same.
TJ, what I would ask, I was saying on Monday, there's certain questions that journalists don't ask or don't want to ask or don't dare to ask. If conceding free kicks isn't the amount of free kicks we're conceding or set pieces isn't a priority. He's saying it's not. People are saying that he's saying he's not bothered by it. It's not important. He's not saying that. He's saying that it's not a priority. Then my immediate question is, if that isn't, what is the priority? What is the priority? If something that is conceding the amount of set pieces we are isn't a priority, then that must be something bigger happening in the team right now than that. And what is bigger than that right now?
You know what? Yeah, but it's good that you said that. It's great that you said that, because then after that little section, he said there was someone asked a question. Do you see progress? And he said, yes, 110%. I see it in 4K. Where's the progress? Where's regression? I'm sorry. He's a liar. He's lying to all of us. He's an imposter.
Not necessarily.
We will talk about the match. Let's talk about the match. No, when are we going to talk about the match, man?
I'll tell you why. All these subjects we're talking about, are covered by the match. Very quickly, Eugene, thank you. He came on earlier. He says, big up everyone in the panel, in the chat. Big up to Eugene. TJ Warren Guna. I've got to read it. I don't want to. Tottenham away and chill. Hitting different tonight. Big up to TJ, man. By the way, subscribe to TJ Warren.
I like TJ.
He's one of our own, but he's not.
It's not me, man. I'm the original, yeah?
Yeah. We like TJ. We like TJ as well down there. We like TJ Warren as well, man. He respects the box
from his point of view. Big up to.
All right, so we're going to talk about the game now, everyone. By the way, there's 800 people watching. Can you please do me a favor? Take 10 seconds and just hit the like
Yeah,
your
come on,
phone,
guys.
on
If
your
you love
computer.
Spurs and hate
Make
fucking
sure
Arsenal
you
and all this
subscribe. Adrian,
rubbish,
shut up
smash
for
the
1
like
second.
button.
1 second, shut up.
Sorry,
I
Steve.
know you meant well. I know you meant well. But because otherwise you're breaking my flow. I just want everyone to also subscribe to Mr. Box Office TV, to Dan E. the Hotspur Hood, Spursy Talks, to Has Spur, to Spurs Kings. They're on Spurs Kings channel. Charlie, Spurs N17. Show your love to everyone. Right. So before the
And
match,
still, before you finish, just like I say, guys, don't forget to unscribe to Alex. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
it's nice in there. It's beautiful. I'll subscribe to Box. Make sure you subscribe to Box Office. All right, so let's kick off. Let's put a bit of a happy vibe. All right, so now it's kickoff.
Brilliant. That is
Newcastle done me, man. I was finished. I was finished, man.
So we went into the Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge. Quite a few fans thought, yeah, Chelsea depleted. They've got injury problems. We can win, get a draw. I was one that said I don't see it, because after that Arsenal game, I wasn't one that clapped Arsenal off the clapped Spurs off the pitch, because I thought we weren't good, but I thought we'd struggle, and we kind of did. I never thought we'd play as badly as we did. But what do you make of the starting lineup? So the back four as normal, but Chicken Royale came in. No Dragusin again. Questions have to be asked why we spent £30 million on the poor guy. He must be wondering why he's at Spurs. Emerson Royale came in. Midfield, a complete change. Madison dropped, Bentancur dropped, in came Basuma, in came Sar, Kulusevski in the 10. Then the front three changed. Son went to his left-sided position, which a lot of fans called for. Richarlison in the 9, which a lot of fans called for. Johnson on the other side. Chelsea, they got a young player, wing-back in the right-back position. Gilchrist, he came in. Badiashile had to come in. Chabla moving into the centre-back. A midfield of Caicedo, Gallagher and Palmer. So Gallagher and Palmer, pretty young players. Madueke, ex-Spurs, play out wide. And one of the worst strikers in the Premier League, Jackson, up top. But he kind of did drift out quite wide. When you saw the two team lineups, guys, two questions. One, were you happy with the Spurs team lineup? Would you have done anything different? And two, when looking at that Chelsea lineup, do you think, yeah, we got this lot? We got them. Iggy, I'll go around. Iggy, what was your first thoughts when you saw that?
Listen, the first thing I thought is that he clearly isn't happy with the midfield, because he completely changed it. He dropped like the Bentancur, Højbjerg and Maddison and replaced them with, Bissouma, Sar and Kulusevski. So the middle, he clearly ain't happy about something. Jackson, 4 goals, 12. He scored 12 goals this season. 4 of them has been at Spurs, against Spurs. Go figure. All right. So it clearly wasn't up in the middle. The front, yeah, look, everyone I think expected Richarlison to come into it a little bit with both Davis, and you knew there was going to be changes there. Davis and Werner both injured. You knew there was something had to happen there. Now, obviously, it was the right move to put Son out there, because let's be honest, who else could we have put there that's been playing of late? So I wasn't, but the right hand side a little bit. I honestly felt Lo Celso might get a look in. I did think that maybe Lo Celso would have had a part to play in tonight's game, but for the rest of it, yeah, it's pretty much what I thought. I thought Emerson would come in. Although people have been saying, well, why is Van de Ven not going onto left back and bring Dragusin in? That's the other argument, I think, for a case of Dragusin. The reason why that is because in terms of the high line and recoveries, no one recovers speed with VDV there. There was nobody that's got the pace that he has in recovery. Whoever gets away with him, he catches up with him. So that's why Van de Ven won't get played on the left and high up the field where our left backs would normally be. So Dragusin's only going to play if one of Romero or Van de Ven's not playing. So that's why that argument falls on its ears. But for the rest of it, is the team that I expected. And looking at Chelsea, I thought to myself, do you know what? If we have a really solid 20 minutes here where we start strong and get at them, I think we might, you know, we might do something. But the biggest factor for me is, and I saw it earlier on, man, that it's a team that's spent, man. I didn't see enough. And like I said, if you look at it from Chelsea's point of view and how Tottenham played tonight, man, that was light work. That was light work. They didn't have to try that hard. So, yeah, my thoughts for the team, as expected. Lo Celso maybe could have been in the starting lineup, but I thought, yeah, all right, half decent team compared to what Chelsea had. I thought, yeah, we might. Honestly, felt like if we set right, we can get a good result tonight.
I want to come to Hasper next, because he hasn't spoken ages. Very quickly, Wayne Holland, big up to you for the super sticker. Leicester City fan, chats to me most days. He warned us about Maddison going missing second half of the season. He did call it. And also big up to Kitzler, who says, Ange is not a liar. He's being inconspicuous. Ange is stubborn, said he'll work on it because he's the manager, not because the media said so. Fair play. You're allowed your opinion, my man. Thank you for the super chat. Hasper, so starting lineup. I know you've been very critical of the starting lineups and formations a lot this year, but when you saw the starting lineup for Spurs and you saw Chelsea's, what were you thinking, my man?
I was thinking the front three are going to cook our back four. I obviously we were messaging before the game, innit? So I was like, Madueke versus Chicken Royale is going to end up badly. So yeah. The midfield, I think I'll go on for Iggy's point. He doesn't know what his strongest midfield is at this point. Maddison being dropped, I would say it was kind of expected because at this point you're going to have to drop him. Yeah, I don't think he knows what his best team is. As I told you maybe before, I want to see like a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2 against these sort of away games when you're playing like not the big six, I don't know the right word for it, because you need to account for the fact that you're losing Udogie as well. So we need to have extra cover down that side with Madueke, as I spoke before. I think the manager's tactics are just predictable. And I think, like Iggy said, we just made it easy for Chelsea. I don't think they really got out of first gear like Arsenal. And I did predict us to lose 2-0, so TJ can come.
You were bang on the money.
Yeah, and it just happened because, and I know everyone thought again 14 injuries like against Newcastle we're going to win. Not me, but I know I watched a lot of shows like on Time Added On earlier. I think Soren was saying we're going to win, and some other shows saying that because I have all these injuries. But like at Newcastle, and I said it before, Newcastle we're going to get cooked, and that's exactly what happened because Ferguson used to do this in these big games, add another midfielder or change the tactics of playing further back maybe, or especially these big away games. But this manager just doesn't change anything. It's, like you said in your voice note, it's just our way, mate.
That's who we are, mate.
Yeah.
Dan, let me ask you a question, right? So I had an argument, not an argument. I had an adult discussion with your friend David on your channel. I believe it was yesterday, or the day before.
Yeah.
And I also had a mini argument with another fan on a channel yesterday. And I said to both of them, I think Poch is doing better than Ange. And then we tried to analyze it. And then I said, all right, tomorrow we'll see. Right. That depleted Chelsea team played well and deserved to beat Spurs. Have I now got a point that Poch is doing better than Ange when you look at the two teams? Or are you guys going to argue with me? And if you are, you better bring it, because what I saw tonight.
The only thing.
Yeah, let Dan go, Charlie. Let Dan go. Charlie, let Dan go, and I'll come to you because I did ask Dan, because I want Dan to
the
have his say on
only
the tactics as well.
thing that we have to stand on this basically is that we will finish higher in the league. But in a way, it's really not going to make much difference. Okay, it might get us Europa, fine. But Ange just managed to pick a couple of players he wanted, as no player comes into that club without his choice. Poch just got dropped with everything that was already there, basically.
Mm-hmm.
His team are now slowly starting to take place. They've destroyed us twice, basically. I mean, today they had half their team missing. And he's got to cup finals.
And cup semi-final as well, the other one.
And cup semi-final. That's, to an extent, you can say he has. The only leg that Ange has to stand on this one is if he finishes higher in the league. Apart from that, Poch has done better. I mean, you look at the crowd base he's had against him. You're not going to get much more savage than a fan base like Chelsea that are probably the highest winners in the past 20 years, if I remember right. Something along those lines. And he stuck to it. And you can see it's getting better, even though they've lost, like, what is it, about 10 players, 11 players? So, yeah, the only thing you can say that Ange has done better is where he's finished in the league. Apart from that, Poch has been the closer to winning anything.
Does anyone else want to talk about the starting lineup? No, in fact,
I've
Charlie,
got
you wanted to say
one
something.
thing.
You go, Charlie. Go,
Oh,
Charlie. I'll come to you.
like,
I'll come
the logic you said with, Pochettino's got a deflated team, all this stuff. We're going to play against him. Let's see who's got. But you could, like, that logic doesn't work because we drew against Pep Guardiola's team with a deflated team, with a team that we played Kulusevski. We had no strike, we had nothing. So that logic doesn't really work in my favor. But I do get what you say that he has had a better season than us. But I still don't see, because you can get to every final in the world, but if you don't win the final, it doesn't really matter. Like, you can have that.
We
It doesn't
didn't
say
get
a lot.
past round one, Charlie.
Okay, but but we are higher in the league. I mean, like, that's going to help us for next season. Getting into finals is not going to help you into the next season.
So if Chelsea win their game in hand, they go 6 points behind us. Okay, just picture this: Chelsea being 6 points behind us, losing a Carabao Cup final, getting to an FA Cup semi-final, and beating Spurs twice. Are they not doing better than us? If you think of it,
no,
they've got more games to play.
About
They need to
Europe,
play 11 more games.
Chelsea lost in the final, and Man City won it. Yeah,
Liverpool.
Who was it who won? Liverpool.
No,
won.
Liverpool.
Right.
Liverpool.
Yeah. So
Penalties.
sorry. So Liverpool going to be in the Champions League. Doesn't that mean Chelsea get their Europa Cup place?
No.
For being the finals.
No, it doesn't work like that. No, it's Conference League for the Carabao Cup.
Oh, right.
It used to be Champions League, right? Or no, that's FA Cup.
No, no, you get Europa Cup if you're in the FA Cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, but I still say, all right, you can get as high as you want in any tournament, but if you don't win it, what does it really matter at the end? Like, it won't help you for next season. It won't help you for that season. It's fun. You can get to we could get to every final in the world, but if you don't win anything, well, who said it's a better season than the other season? I mean, like,
Charlie, no, hold that thought. Right, remember you said. So the season we lost 13 away games and lost the Champions League final, and everyone said it was a brilliant season by Poch. But we didn't win the final though, Charlie. So it wasn't good, was it?
It wasn't a great season. The only thing that we did have on us.
Oh, because
that was the final.
That's the best season they've ever experienced in their lives. You know.
Yeah, because the last time we won a trophy was before I was born.
But
I mean,
we didn't win it. But we didn't win it.
I know we didn't win it, but we got far, and that doesn't mean we got a good season. But it was a fun season to watch.
But Poch got far this year in the cups.
We got taken out in the first
round.
I
feel like Spurs fans are cherry picking. When it suits us, getting to a final and losing is not bad. But if a rival does it, but you didn't win it though, so it's what's the point? I just feel like we're not being balanced. Does anyone think Ange has had a better season than Poch? Honestly, if so, tell me why.
No, I don't think nobody can say that he has had a better season in terms of, like, for me personally. Look, how I see it, Poch should have been our manager. I wanted Poch. I was hardborn on Poch. Let me be honest with you. And then we ended up.
You were.
I wanted Poch.
The stadium was singing his name a month before Ange got the job. So
I wanted Poch.
They were singing his name.
Look, for me, Poch has been in a situation where he's taken this team that is not his team. He don't have his players, and he's managed to beat Tottenham. And look at the lineup as well. You were talking about the lineup. We should be beating Chelsea. We should be beating Chelsea. Look at
their bench. Bettinelli, the Italian youngster, Casadi, Washington, Sturge, Torinen, Castledine, Achimapong, George. God, these are kids. These are kids. Look at our bench.
We should be beating them.
Goosing, Madison, Gill, Lo Celso, Bentancur, Mikey Moore.
There's no excuses. We should be beating them. The lineup, look, for me, I didn't have a problem with the lineup, to be honest with you. I was a bit surprised that Maddison didn't start. That was the only surprising factor. I knew that either Emerson Royale or I was hoping Van der Ven maybe would go to the left back and probably play Dragusin, because obviously for me,
a lot of fans,
you know, for me, I don't know what Dragusin has to do to get a game. He's locked behind bars. He's probably slept with my man's girl or something, because generally speaking, he's not getting no game time. He's not getting no game time. I don't understand.
The problem is at the moment, Emerson's getting in front of him. That's what I'm even shocked about as well. You know what I mean?
I said earlier on, he won't move Van der Ven out of the centre back position for the fact that the way we play is with a high line, and he's so good with recovery.
But that Chelsea game, Iggy. But
listen, he could have done it. He could have done it. But what you guys are saying,
I agree with you. I agree with what you're talking about. Van der Ven is our core piece for that high line. But that Chelsea game, we didn't play the high line. If you watch that game,
to back three, we could have changed it up and played with a wing back.
This is my point. He's had time to change it, but he's a stubborn manager. He doesn't want to change nothing.
Yeah. Listen,
he's on the sidelines, and this is the first time I've seen him shout. And this is what, look, maybe I'm just a bit annoyed from
tonight. He was
Arsenal.
vexing the players out there. He was actually calling players out. You can see he was pointing out. I think Sarr got it in the neck.
It's the first time he got angry.
Guys, was it
I love this.
When he
Yeah,
takes the
he's
inverted
absolutely love
fullbacks
this,
off?
by the way.
He took the inverted fullbacks off. Was that handball? Was it?
Yeah, I could I just say something? I absolutely love that when he unleashed like that, because that just shows you that this, you know, it's getting to him now. It's getting to him now. Yeah, right, and that's it. Like he was proper, like it was.
Yeah,
it was.
he's talking to Sarr on this one.
He's feeling the pressure. That's why. That's my take on it.
Yeah, boy, that just sums it up. This is what sums it up perfectly. Yeah, look, all the smiles that were beginning of the season. Yeah, everyone was smiling. Yeah, we've got our Tottenham back. Dan sums it up perfectly. Yeah, right. All he needs to do is play the ball forward and twerk, and then Tottenham fans are twerking for him. He had the personality, and that's it. Yeah, right. And now look at what's going on now. Look what's going on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what it's like, Alex. When the results are coming together, everyone's sweet, everyone's happy, everyone's smiling. And
but
right
Iggy
now,
was so early though. Iggy, you knew. We all knew. We all knew. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. It's just like this is why I just stick to what I'm saying at the moment. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's the whole thing with Dragusin. Right, we were twerking for this guy when he came in. We were like saying, "We beaten Barcelona to him. We beaten Bayern Munich to him. We're going places. We're going places."
It sounds like someone I know.
This is what we're saying. But then it's like we don't know what Patty's cooking. That's what I was told.
Harry vibes, man. That's Harry vibes. 100%.
You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just like, and I'm not having a dig at somebody, by the way. I'm not having a dig because you know there's certain people that will do things and they always do it because that's what they do, and that's it. I'm not having to go at them. But this is the thing, and
that's what they do.
But the problem is that the more that people push these things, these narratives, right, and even have somebody saying to me, if you don't back Ange, how can you see the ball backing Ange? I'm sitting there thinking, you've just proven that you've got a narrative. Because it's all on the board, mate. You know what I mean? Like I said, this game, right? There was nothing on it. Literally nothing on it, right? And they've got so many injuries, Chelsea, at the moment. They're using their youngsters at the moment, mate. You know what I mean?
Just like Newcastle did.
Exactly. And then we think that we're going to be good in Champions League or Europa League next season. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm not even angry. Like I said, I'm not angry about this game, but it's just like, for me at the moment, I've got to keep myself parched at the moment because I need to see. I've got to wait till middle of the season next season because I just think he's going to walk. I'm sorry. I can't see any different at the moment. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's going to be able to walk. I think he needs to be fired sooner than later.
The performances is no different to what we were seeing under Conte.
If we sack Ange, guys, then what?
Well, this is
you know what?
And this is the thing. This is the thing, though, Stelios. when what Maz said,
Ryan
oh
Mason.
well,
Oh my
they're not
God.
going to do, they're
That's
not
what's
going to
gonna
back, they're
happen.
not
That's
going
what
to
I
say
think
out
anyway.
loud that they're not going to back the manager, right? So why do you think I should back the manager then? If you can't put your neck on the line for the manager, then mate, you know what I mean?
Alex, can I ask you something quickly?
That's the problem, though, Alex, isn't it?
The
It just
Spurs
goes right
job
back
has
to Levy.
become similar to what the England job a few years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
It's such a poison chalice. Now, if you, let's say we were all managers, yeah, out of the job and we're looking for a job, man. Other than the fact that you're picking up a wage, what is the thing about going to Spurs? Where's the
Well,
excitement?
that's
Not
why
just the manager,
we
but
had the
where's the
big
players?
problem,
The
though, Iggy,
players.
isn't it?
A player going to Spurs is only going to use it as a trampoline because it gets him in the Premier League, and that could be a spring step to go to bigger and better things. Other than that, what is the purpose of going to Spurs? You think Van der Ven's going to stick around? How
No,
long
he'll be
until
gone in
big
2
And
years.
that hamstring's clicking. That hamstring's going to click. It's going to click all day, every single day. Sorry, you can just
think
hear
about
it.
it. Like you're going to have so many teams that are going to be in and around. They're going to be looking at him sooner or later. Romero, arguably, this season has been really good. I think he has been anyway. I think he showed a lot of
Overall.
leadership. The goalkeeper as well. Bang on. He's been a really good signing. Overall, I think he's been brilliant. Yeah, he's a bit suspect on the crosses, but shot stopping, he's there, man. I think those have been the positives. Everyone else has fallen off the wagon massively. And you got to look at it from their point of view. Yeah, sooner or later they're going to be like, "Is this really the place? Is the happening place for me?"
But this is what happens every 5 years, don't
every
we?
year, yeah,
well,
of course
every
it is.
year or every 5 years, we go through this cycle. But I think what's been more telling in the last 3-4 years is how when Jose left, look how long it took for us to get a manager. When Nuno left, look how long it took for us to get
Because there's no planning ahead.
Exactly.
Even when we sat managers, there's no like clear idea who's the next one
Nobody
gonna
wants
be.
the job, Iggy.
No one wants
Wasn't
the
Ange
job,
our fourth or fifth choice again?
Fifth
Or am I wrong
choice.
in saying
Someone's
that?
in the chat.
I'm sorry, Celeste, because I know you want to talk the game. I do apologize because it's me. But I just got to a point now where it's like this game just not. I
wasn't invested in it. I could look at it.
I had no motivation.
It was very passive.
I've not had a motivation. The only motivation I had was that not from the derby because I wanted to stop Arsenal from winning the league. That's it.
And they
And
bottled
that's
that.
sad.
What's
That
the
is
last?
sad.
What the last 3 games well, I would say maybe quite a few more games, but let's
We
just
probably
take the
will
last
turn up for that
few,
game.
Is
I
that
hope not.
Ange? One of the things that I dislike that what Ange has done is he's chopped and changed the team quite a lot this season, and he doesn't know what his best 11 is, apart from maybe his back four. He doesn't know what his best 11 is, and rather than stating or showing the players that when they're not playing well, that he's going to bring in players to replace them, he's put way too much faith in certain players, i.e. Maddison, where he hasn't played well for quite 3-4 months now, since he's come back. I should say. Right, Basuma, right? He should be willing to say, right, if you guys aren't playing well, I'm going to bring in the next best thing that I've got, and even if they're bad, because that's exactly what Poch did. He dropped key players and he brought in the kids until he got the players he wanted, and he hasn't done that. And for this game, when I saw the lineup, I thought, what on earth is it going to take to give Lo Celso a run in his number 10 role that he's good at for Argentina for?
Yeah.
Right, and then it's like, if you can't see that's a key area of improvement, right? Then why are we talking about giving him a 2-year contract? Why are you even sticking him on the bench if you're not willing to let him have a run out? And you can't say that it's...
Maz, can I ask you a quick question? Did Brian Gill come on before we brought in Lo Celso?
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Another thing as well, right?
He came on right at the end. Right at the end.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
I switched off at that point.
When I look at it,
Yeah.
I can't see a really good reason why Lo Celso isn't in the team, because when he has actually played, aside from a few cameo performances when he comes in the last 10-20 minutes, he's actually been really good.
Do you know what?
So
With Lo
it's
Celso, Maz, I like
nothing
him.
to do with form. It's nothing to do with his
It's
form.
got to
It's
be a
obviously a
character thing, man.
fitness. Yeah,
It's a
got to be a
character thing
character
because
thing.
it's previous managers have all been the same with him. So there's a going theme and like an ongoing theme. It doesn't matter who's the manager. Lo Celso doesn't seem to feature even when he's fit.
Yes,
So
I agree. So
I
it's
don't
got
know.
to be
It's got to
something
be
like
something
that.
there,
But
man.
then, if it is a character thing, don't put him on the bench. Put in the kid.
Fuck him
right?
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck it. How long you got to keep someone at a club before you tell him to piss off?
Then you look at Højbjerg, right?
Easy again.
So he's playing Højbjerg, right? Knowing
rid.
that he's going to probably go at the end of the season, and he's left Skippy out in the
Højbjerg was
wilderness.
rubbish when he came on. His first 4 or 5 touches
Again,
was
setting a
terrible.
bad
Absolutely
example.
rubbish.
Setting a bad
He's
example
gone, though,
to
innit?
the
He's
kids.
gone.
Setting a bad example to the kids and the first 11 by keeping these players in. Brian Gill, why is he on the bench? He's going to be going. Put a kid on the bench.
But you know what? You made a good point. You made a good point. Even when we were going through the injury crisis, when we didn't have no back line, he didn't even go and trust. He didn't even trust our youth. He didn't even go and say, you know what?
Dorrington, Phillips.
Dorrington, Phillips, you know, he stuck with the goods and the bads, and he just said, you know what, is what it is.
Class of '92, I was told.
And
Man United.
it's brightening him in the arse now because it's all falling to pieces, right? What I think he should have done for this specific game is he should have put Lo Celso in at number 10, Kulusevski out on the right, Son on the left, Richarlison in the middle. He should have played Bentancur instead of Basuma because Basuma's been rubbish, right? Bentancur, I'd rather have Bentancur there because for me, Bentancur's got a lot more heart than Basuma, and I think the team looks up to Bentancur because of his manner and the way he plays the pitch. Then you play Sarr as the number 8, or you swap them. You do whatever, but we can see this and he can't, and I don't understand. And also as well is stick Dragusin out on the left back. Why put Emerson there?
Tell me about it.
You know,
Can someone explain to me this Dragusin signing? Because did he even want him? Because he doesn't play at all.
It almost feels like that we've signed him only as backup to Romero and Van der Ven and no other role, no other players.
Pointless.
Which worries me because then what we're saying is there's no flexibility to him. Whereas Kulu, he can play in the cam, he can play out wide, right? Whereas with Dragusin, it's like, right, you're centre back and nothing else ever, which is worrying because now we're trusting players that we know aren't very good, like Emerson Royale, like Ben Davies. How can Ben Davies and Chicken Royale be ahead of a £30 million centre back that we specifically targeted?
Exactly. It's illogical. It's complete. It's so illogical, and I think that's why part of me thinks maybe that's why the team are checked out because they've got to be sitting there and thinking, what the hell is going on?
Maz, I said this the other day. When you play football, you know when you're playing with good players, you know when you're playing with shit players. And you know when you've got to cover somebody, you know when you can trust passing a ball to somebody. I see it when I manage as well. I can see when players don't want to play with other players by the decisions they make on the pitch. And I would not be surprised if some players are saying, do you know what? I don't want to play with this guy next to me. I know what's going to happen. And you probably make a very valid point.
Like Romero last season, basically, when he knew he had next to him and you could see it blatantly had enough. Why have I got to put in 200% when it doesn't matter if I put in 500%, we're still going to get screwed.
Spot on.
It's exactly the same as that.
100%.
I think Romero's playing for himself at the moment. To be honest with you, I said it on my channel yesterday. I did a live yesterday.
Yeah, I watched.
And I said the devil's advocate because that's a popular word now these days. He played. He's actually a better striker than some of the strikers we've got at the moment. Let's be honest here. Even Van der Ven at the moment, he's finding goal scoring boots, and these are defenders better than our strikers at the moment. Makes sense of that. But I even said this as well, devil's advocate, that I think he's playing for himself at the moment. I actually think he's just playing for himself. So I think he's thinking, sod these players. Sorry, bye-bye. You know what I mean? Yeah. But by the way, Charlie, Charlie, please don't just take it like this. We're just old. We've used, I know you've got your thoughts, mate, and stick to that, bro. It's fine. You know what I mean? Don't just ignore us. We're just having our views. You know what I mean? Just stick to your opinion. Yeah. Just keep it going. Yeah. Don't worry about us. You know what I mean? We just did the tell it, and that's it.
When Charlie first came on our show, right? I said to him, "Charlie, make me a promise." He goes, "What's that? Don't ever become like us."
Yeah, exactly. Don't,
I told him on day
I'm
one.
looking at young Charlie, and I'm just sitting there thinking, "Oh boy, it's a poor little mate." He's thinking,
Charlie loves it. Charlie loves it.
yeah. So
Charlie
just to keep it to your opinion, mate, and just keep it going, bro. Don't worry about it. But my point is,
Adrian, how's your
Romero,
sandwich, by the way? What are you eating now?
Romero looks like he's playing for himself because he's just thinking, you know what, whether these players look bad, if I play really well, look good, Real Madrid are going to be knocking at my door. You know what I mean? And all these top teams, you know what I mean? And also say bye bye to these league players. And
He's a World Cup winner, for God's sake.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I think he's playing for himself. That's what I think. Devil's advocate. Back to you, Stel.
I wouldn't be surprised. Some people have said that Dragusin's the replacement for Romero, so I don't know. Jerome, thank you for the super chat. He says it makes sense that Bryan Hill came on because Johnson was being useless as a winger. Højbjerg has been costing us for so many games now. No wonder Ange was angry. Those players again drop their heads when things go wrong. I think the worrying thing is with this comment, Jerome, is that, and Iggy said it backstage before we went live tonight. The players, where's their fight? Why didn't they put up any fight? And under every manager, our players seem to drop their head, no matter who the manager is. Iggy, do you want to touch on that because you were speaking about that backstage?
I was saying, like, regardless of maybe the disagreements of opinions that you may have with a manager, that happens in any line of work. At the end of the day, man, once you cross the white line, the basics of any footballer is to bring the fight. I mean, these all the things that come within any of us, you know, whether you're playing football or not, man, the fight has to be first of all within you. You're on a one-on-one situation with your direct opponent, and the idea is for 90 minutes is have the better on him. So you've got your challenge versus so you got a team challenge and you got one-on-ones. You got to try and beat that one-on-one, and that comes in fight, play with intensity, desire, work ethic. I didn't see any of that tonight, right from the off. I did not see absolutely any of that, and I haven't seen it against Newcastle. I saw a little bit of it against Arsenal, a little bit, but then that quickly phased out. And then tonight, I'll put it on par as in terms of all these things that you need to bring into a fight and into a match. I put it on par to Newcastle. I saw exactly the same heart and desire against that. And that's surprising because it's a London club. I know we don't get a lot of results at Stamford Bridge, but to not even bring nothing to the table. And that's what Alex was on about. The fact that he's watched that game because he didn't see that. He didn't feel emotionally invested in that game, and that I felt that's probably a lot of us. You're looking at a match, and you kind of know the outcome. You must like know the outcome of this film because I've seen it many a times before. So, without that desire and that fight to how the hell we're going to win any other games, and which brings me to the next question, probably with you guys here in the chat and obviously in the panel. If he still doesn't know the fact that he's clearly not happy with the midfield is probably the biggest part that he's not happy with. We can say add the forwards, but at least with the forwards he changed it up a little bit tonight. But in terms of the midfield, where he's changed all three of them, now he's changed 3 against Arsenal. He changed them tonight. Which 3 are you going to present? If you're looking at the Arsenal game in midfield, looking at tonight's midfield, which 3 are you going to present yourself at Anfield on Sunday?
Does it matter, Ricky?
Can I be honest with you?
If it doesn't matter, those 6 points you was talking about Chelsea being behind.
Can I be totally honest with you?
If they win that game,
Can I be totally honest?
and we lose that, that's that.
Can I be totally honest? I would suggest he play part of the bus. I don't want to see another goal in the back of our net.
TJ, that's not happening. We all know.
I'm sick and tired of the same goals going in the back of our net.
We got rid of Conte because he parked the bus. Now we're saying park the bus. Listen to us.
Conte never parked the bus. Conte knew very quickly. He figured out very quickly where we was weak and where our strengths lied, and he played to it. he knew we couldn't play to a back four
should have
because the
backed
defenders
him.
weren't good enough.
Conte didn't have a
We played with a
choice.
three.
But
He had Dyer, Longley, Longley, and who was the third one? I keep forgetting. Sanchez. Come on, man.
And
he
Davies.
had, he had Davis,
And Emerson.
Davis, and Emerson playing wing backs. Now we've got the wing backs. We're playing with full backs.
Can I just?
We're lagging.
To answer your question, and I know we've covered this before, but for the benefit of the people that haven't heard this before, it's effectively the corridors of Tottenham and what Levy's done to the club as to why the players always go through this cycle. If the management layer at Spurs had that winning mentality, right, that demanded success and a high level from each of the players.
Starts from the top though, Maz.
Exactly. That will penetrate that will penetrate every fibre, every department of the club, right? And the whole club is then geared to winning. But everyone in the club knows that Spurs aren't geared to win, or we don't want to win. And then everyone then doesn't give their 100% towards that goal. Because it's like a cruise liner that's just like floating on the water with no destination, right? And until that gets fixed, I don't think this problem of the players not having the heart and the drive will ever go away.
Do you know what though? When we say like these things and we say get rid of the manager, like it's like we're so short-sighted. We don't look beyond the tip of our nose, man. We don't look beyond what the issues are. If you're having the same issues year after year, and you get rid of that manager and you bring in another manager, then you get rid of the players and you bring in other players, and it's always that same cycle, and nobody ever unanimously says, you know what? Come on, man, we need to look at the geezer that hires and fires here, because when's my man coming to when's his day? When does his day come? Where you look at him and say,
guys, let's 1 minute. Let's stick to the game a minute, right? Because we did the lineups, because we're going back to the whole Levy and right.
Yeah, because you know what? Because our problems lie beyond this game. We could talk about the game, of course we can. But
still,
our problems doesn't matter.
But I want to look. I do want to get everyone's opinions on individual moments, right? So the warning sign was after 5 minutes, where Mudryk put a really good ball down the wing. Jackson, we got caught with the high line. He made a good run, 1-on-1 with the keeper. He nutmegs Vicario, who just about got something on it, and then Van der Ven slides, kicks it off the line. They hug each other because they saved each other. That the warning sign was there that Chelsea can get into us. But then 5 minutes later, Spurs wanted a penalty. It looked like Chicken Royale had been bundled over by Madueke, but the referee said no penalty. Just on this one again, because we had a situation against Arsenal where we said we should have been given a couple of penalties. Do you think this was a penalty? Or do you think Emerson just made a meal?
I think it was very
soft, but they're being given.
I know it's soft.
Being given.
Was it should it have been a penalty?
No.
Because look, he did put his hand across him as he went down.
Yeah, but I think Emerson dived like he'd been shot. That's the problem.
Yeah, but then that was the problem
Emerson oversold
he had
it
in the last game. He got his ankle clipped very slightly, but he didn't go down straight away, so he didn't get looked at.
If Romero had done that, would he have been punished for it?
Yeah,
most probably.
Do you see what I mean? So,
this is what I'm asking. Was it a penalty?
But if Romero does that, you know that's going to VAR because it's Romero. Do you see what I mean? Like, why should that matter who it is?
You do have a fair point, to be honest with you. Look, I think it was soft ultimately. Ultimately, I think it was soft, and I don't even think it's a moment where we should really think about, because if we're playing our best games, these little moments shouldn't count. Let's be honest with you.
I agree. But TJ, that one that, we always cuss players that dive and roll about, and that gets it really does vex me. But then you have a situation like Sunday where Kulusevski is trying to stay on his feet. Even if he'd been tripped, he's trying to stay on his feet to play the pass. They didn't call that back. If anything, we lose the ball, they go the other end and score the second goal of Saka. That's 2-0, where it could have potentially been 1-1. All I'm saying, sometimes...
Most people are saying in the chat, no penalty. That's most people's opinion.
All I'm saying is, whilst we may have gone on to lose the game anyway, I'm not saying that, but... And, the fortune rewards the brave and all of that. I get that. But it's sometimes even when you're not playing or you might not be superior to your opponents, sometimes little decisions like that can change not just the course of the match, but the tendency of your momentum might pick up on the basis of one little decision. And all it is at the
Sorry to
moment.
interrupt you, Dan. Have you got to go, mate? Should we wish you good night?
Yeah, mate, I've got to go. Things kicking in. All right, cheers
No
for
worries,
having
man.
us on.
See you
Good
later,
seeing
Dan.
you all.
Night, Dan. Have a good one.
Take
We
care of
will
yourself.
finish this match talk. We will finish it.
See you later, Dan. See you later. Take care.
I'll be around 5 a.m. But
everyone. Yeah, Iggy, go on. Finish your point. Sorry, man.
No. All I'm saying is sometimes, even when you're not playing well and you're thinking like you get decision gets you back into the game, before you know it, you might actually go on to win the game, and all of a sudden you break the rut, you get 3 points, and it might give you some sort of spring to go on to the next game. You might go to Anfield with a different mentality, but I know we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it, and then we've had decisions, and during the season as well. But we've seen penalties like that given, and I agree, guys, it is soft. But I've seen worse penalties being given this season, and sometimes, and I'll go back to saying it, it does depend the player that does it. Because I say it to you now, Romero does that, that I guarantee you that'll be a penalty. That's just my take on it, man.
It wasn't given, and then another warning sign. We've been having trouble with set pieces all season. The cross came in from a corner. Vicario and Richarlison clashing into each other, and Vicario bundling his punch out. Lack of communication between the two. Not the first time we've seen a bit of confusion. But then this happened. Another set piece goal. Unbelievable. VAR were checking it for a possible offside. It wasn't offside. They also looked at a potential foul. Now, I thought it might have been a foul. I thought Cucurella did kind of block him.
I thought it was a foul.
But we'll
That's
get
a
onto
foul,
the
man.
We'll get onto the foul in a minute. But it was onside. But my question, and the one that I know everyone's asking, why are the two biggest, tallest players in the Chelsea squad free at the back post? It's because, once again, zonal marking. We've let the biggest two players on the pitch. Guys, this is where fans are getting angry with Ange. How can he say it's not a problem? These are why we're conceding goals.
It's pathetic.
If you look at where Richarlison's standing, like
I don't even know what they're screaming, man. They need to shift that line across.
Yeah, it's 3 players. There's 3 players.
We've got 7 players in our own box against 5 of them. And they've got
do you know what? I see Porro there, at the top. Porro and Sarr next to each other. What are they doing there? And then you got these 3 guys in the middle, which I kind of get. And then no one's looked left.
Van der Ven's marking nobody. Van der Ven's marking no one. He's marking a zone.
Van der Ven's Emerson's not marking anyone either.
So, but the problem is nobody's looked at the back to say, "Yo, what's going?" They're saying the danger's always at the back. No one's gone like that.
Zonal marking, no, they don't have to, because the tactic is mark your zone.
It comes down to Ange not working on set pieces. And a few weeks ago, Dyer came out with they didn't do no set piece training and all of this. That's what you're getting, because they don't know what to do. Generally, they don't know what to do.
At Celtic,
I'll be looking at my manager and I'll be looking at saying, what the fuck do we do if they're saying zonal? I'll be looking at him saying, what about these 3? You want me to leave them there? And if he says, oh, I'll leave him. But do you know, I don't know. It's just, I don't see any
It's like we're set up to fail on set pieces. That's how it feels like to me.
All the time. Every single time.
Signs were there, though, weren't they, from Celtic, though? Because a lot of the reports was he doesn't concentrate on defensive coaching. He brings in other coaches.
He was getting pissed off with the amount of stupid free kicks we were giving away.
And the problem is, though, this is, again, like we judge him for the players that get brought in terms of the ones he signs off on. We have to also judge him on the coaches that he's brought in. And he brings in Jedinak as a defensive coach. And then Stel had a brilliant, I don't know if you still got it still, where you went through all of the
He's got
the
no
coaches.
experience. He's failed in his previous role. He was it's low grade coach.
It's absolutely nuts. And the thing is, Daniel Levy and the management, if you really want them to pull people up on stuff. This is the sort of stuff they need to be pulling up on and setting the standards. They need to be saying to him, "Hold on, why are you bringing in this geezer? Why are we putting him on the payroll?"
This is but the thing is, every week we put a screenshot on the TV screen and we say the same thing. This is a joke. This is a joke. But this is
I don't know if you guys were listening to the commentary. Who was it? Gary Neville? I think it was either Gary. Yeah, he was saying at the time when they were lining up, why isn't there no defender marking them players? And he was saying, you got Chalobah. I think it was Chalobah was the one that went to header it. Yeah. He basically said that you need to shift Van der Ven or Romero on that player. It's a free header. What do you expect? If a player's gonna go for a free header, they're gonna go and score, man.
TJ, what? Right. Premier League coaches have got any top league has got a massive advantage. You've got access to data, analytics, video footage, analysts, a team of analysts, and you can just say to them, right, go get me as much information as you can on the opposition when it comes to set pieces. And they will say, watch out for Badashil, watch out for this one. Them two, they're not too much to worry about. Don't let this one shoot from distance if it falls to the edge of the box. And then you tell your players, right, you're going to mark him, you're going to mark him. You show them the videos. So when it comes to defending set pieces, your team now knows exactly who they should be looking to pick up, why they're picking them up, and what the threat of that individual opponent brings to you. A bit like when you tell a left back he's not good on his right foot, put him on his right foot. Okay, you do that homework. We do none of this. I can see it's not being done.
Yeah,
I'm speechless as to why we're not doing this. And
let's be honest with you. Still, why don't you apply for the job, bro, man? You probably get a better tune out of these damn players.
Because if I work for Daniel Levy, I'll be in prison for murder within 2 days.
I think at the moment,
I ain't going down like that.
I think at the moment he's focusing on the attacking side.
Well, that was a joke. I'm not going to murder anyone. Just so everyone knows I was joking.
That's going to get kicked out of context.
Well, Alex, are you going to say what I think you're going to say? He's focusing on the attacking side.
TJ, you know what I feel about the manager, so I'm not here twerking for him. By the way, I'm just saying what he said. He said in his press conferences, because that's what he said. He said it's a build. So he said he wants to build on the philosophy and the attacking philosophy, but on a different opposite of the point I'm making at the same time, that the wingers that he's got at the moment I think the attacking side is not helping him massively. I think that's failing him. And like I said on my show yesterday, I think this will get him sacked. I think that will get him sacked.
Alex, you don't build your house or you don't build your philosophy on sand, right? You've got to build it on
I'm not saying that though. You're not. But that's the foundation. This is the point I'm making. The foundation of his team is the attacking philosophy, right? So he's bringing this attacking philosophy. He's been saying this. That's the point. That's the point I'm making. So these attackers that are in the midfield and the attacking style at the moment is failing him, and that's what's going to get him sacked. The set pieces and the defensive side is what is going to get him cups and trophies, and that's it. That's what I said on my conclusion on what I said on my show yesterday.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
And
it's like having
that standard.
So that's what I said.
By that standard, Alex, right? He's one of the biggest failures going, because not only did he get 4 or 5 attackers that were absolutely useless to implement his policy, he's also not. He's doing under 10s defending as well.
So his shortcomings going in certain scoring goals, and his shortcomings in defending them as well. So we're kind of like, we're not strong, particularly strong in any way, but also the characteristics of the teams you have to look at. If Arsenal, who scored X amount of goals through set pieces, and then you've got Chelsea, who are not bad either, then you have to look at the characteristics of the players when you're playing against those teams. So if you've got someone like Dragusin,
Chelsea have not been good at set pieces this year, by the way.
I'm just saying, like Arsenal, but Chelsea, if you look at them physically, if they haven't been good,
they haven't been good at set pieces. I reckon they planned against us.
Yeah, of
I
course,
think they
everyone.
planned.
This is exactly it. They come with a plan. Now
Yeah.
that's it. What do you think? What do you think Liverpool going to do? But what I'm trying to say is, you got players with characteristics like
Darwin Núñez
Dragusin,
is going to have a field day.
yeah, who's good aerially. He's good, very
Van
good.
Dijk in the air against us.
But this is what I'm
Goodness me,
saying,
we're
though.
gonna
So they
die.
will try and buy free kicks. The
He's
plan
going to
is
be
to try and
dunking.
win.
He's going to be slam dunking.
The plan is to try and buy as many free kicks as possible. Try and win as many free kicks as possible. So try and put us to the sword. And if we don't do anything about it in the next few days, guess what? Sunday is going to be the same thing. We're going to concede
pace
again.
on the break
that's the
kicking as
biggest
well.
thing.
Like, guys, one thing
That's
I think
go for
it's
it, bro.
completely it's completely bullshit. Yeah, like he can be doing all this attack stuff, but you should still have somebody in the background telling you how to defend. Because if I'm a manager,
100%.
it's like having a PlayStation without a controller. Now, I
got
can have the
Jedinak.
best. I can have the best thing in the world, but I don't have a controller. I can't do crap. You know what I mean? If I can't,
Jedinak. Have you ever seen him play football? Jedinak.
No.
Yeah.
But then let's be honest with you there. But then you get him coming out on his press conferences saying it's not his biggest concern. When really and truly we're conceding all these goals through these set pieces, and it's now becoming his biggest concern. Now I'm not even focusing on us scoring. This is why I said, you know what, we might as well just play defensive. You know, I'd rather just park the bus,
Do a 0-0
keep the ball out the back of the net. And that's all I want. I just want the ball to not go in the goal. Personally, I just don't. I don't want to see it anymore.
The thing is too, he's saying like he's all on this attack. But wait, stop, please. Still, is our attack good?
Conte be like, you don't concede, you don't lose.
Guys, listen.
That's number one.
He's all about attack, yeah. But our attack has been crap in the last couple of matches. Like
He chose the attackers, Charlie, though.
As well.
He chose the attackers, Charlie.
Let's
because
be
he said
honest.
every signing's his.
What's the best part? If you look at like defenders, midfielders, and attacker, what is the best part of our team?
Van der Ven.
Goalkeeper.
The defense, yeah?
one centre.
The defense. So we're saying now, individually, our defenders are the best part of our team.
Yeah, but it's the way they're set up. That's why we're conceding so many goals.
Charlie, what do you want to say?
I think the one thing that is working, Iggy, the one thing that is working, it's been consistent the whole season, and it is a foundation to build from. If a lot of things changes, our ability to keep possession of the ball in general is actually quite good. Our ball retention is actually quite good in general.
We just don't do anything with it. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, it means nothing though if you do nothing with it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's because Iggy asked, name one good thing. I'm like, ball possession.
But what I don't understand is a big narrative at the start of the season that, and a lot of Spurs YouTube channels were saying this. So I don't know if you lot, I don't know who it was exactly, saying that the players bought into Ange's system very quickly, right? Now, 20 games later, everyone's saying, and Ange is saying, oh, the players don't know the system. So which one is it now?
They cashed out.
Yeah, which one is it?
But you had Kulusevski after the Nottingham Forest game saying, you know, I love this type of football. You know,
yeah, exactly.
And I wanted to play this. So we kind of when we hear our players say it, it makes us think it as well, though, doesn't it?
I never believed that because I knew that was just absolute rubbish. Because you only need to wait another season, and then they don't like it, don't they? You know what I mean? This is exactly what we heard under Nuno, and look what happened there after 3 games. You know what I mean? You know, we heard all these stories after Mourinho.
I was told at the start of the season, and now everyone's using it as an excuse.
And Conte, like Richarlison's a perfect example.
As we're laughing at Harry Kane after 10 games. Remember that one? They're not laughing at Harry Kane.
Richarlison, you know what I mean? You know, Charlie, what did you want to say, bro? Because you were saying something, yeah. Sorry, Stella, but he was trying to say something.
I forgot. Oh my god, I zoned out for a minute. No, I don't know anymore, man. You can go on.
Let me ask Adrian. Adrian, what do you think about this set pieces? Do you put this on Ange? Do you think it'll be fixed? Do you think it's just Ange is being really ignorant about it? What's your take on it?
I get like when like Chalobah scored today, right? I heard like Neville going on about, oh, why didn't Van der Ven come over and cover for it and all that, like. And to me, I just thought that was complete bollocks, right? We need height there. We had Porro there. Porro had a shit game today, as you know, as did Emerson, right? We're playing what with inverted fullbacks. well, they were taken off. You know what I mean? So I'm still getting my head around this system, to be honest with you, still.
But Adrian, the set pieces in specific, what do you make of that? Like, what's your thinking on the set
You still got to take me the Chick King. Don't forget that.
It's a question of like.
Well, Ryan's buying everyone Chick King. Ryan's buying
If you
everyone Chick King.
if you concede, you look crap. If you clear from it, you look okay, right? What I don't like is like when we're attacking, for example, in a set piece, right? I don't like all this central shit in the box, right? I don't like none of that, right? I think like why haven't we got all our players? We've got a corner, for example, right? And we got all our players like in the box, and there's people wrestling and the defenders, and you know they're all nudging and needling our attackers. And I just think, well, this is total bollocks, right? Why haven't we got all of our players coming up for a corner on the outside of the box, the far side of the penalty area, so they're running into the area when we actually take the corner? Why aren't we doing that? It'd be more effective, right? I mean, I think it is like 1 in 33 corners are scored from a direct corner into a penalty area, right? You can Google it, guys, if in case I'm wrong, right?
Do you blame the manager for this, and Adrian?
What, defended them?
Yeah.
No, I blame the players. You're a coach still, right? I'm
I
not.
blame the as a coach. I blame the manager.
I've only been a fan of watching this club play for.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a coach to know about football if you watch it week in, week out, right? The players are being told to zonal mark.
Yeah, right.
Right, that's an instruction. So if you blame the players, 1 minute. So if you blame the players, you're telling them to defy. 1 minute. So you're telling them to defy the manager's instruction.
Right. If your opposition are doing something unusual that you haven't seen, right? Like Arsenal putting all the players on the far side of the box and all that, right? Well, that's quite a good tactic, isn't it? You know? And then
but Adrian, they only did it because they watched our defending from set pieces and they thought, you know what? They're all confused. Let's all stand on one side and run across.
Right. So I'm not disagreeing with that, right? What I'm saying is like you've got your players there. Where is then okay? You're under threat of a goal. You could concede a possible goal, right? Right. So where is the players there? These are your defenders or midfielders in your box, right? Where is their intelligent awareness to realise how much of a threat this is, what you're doing about it, with the shuffle and all that, whether Vicario's being like blocked off or not, and you put a player, which actually today, I see we had a player trying to push the player that was trying to like get in the front of Vicario. So I seem like they've taken that on board, right?
Well, Cucurella stopped. I think it was it Son trying to run back.
Johnson, is that Johnson?
Johnson. It's 22. Who's 22?
Johnson.
Johnson. Yeah. So Cucurella there. I'll be honest with you. I thought this was a foul personally. I thought Cucurella
it was. Yeah, but you see, when the luck isn't with you still, that's the way it goes. Now, it wasn't an offside goal, right? When Chabalard come in, he couldn't have headed it any better. Obviously, gone bang, and he's gone in, and Vicario couldn't do nothing about it. Let's be fair.
It was a quality finish.
Yeah, it was a quality finish.
After that goal went in, Ange, usually a figure of calm on the touchline, was absolutely incensed when Spurs gave away the free kick. Still shaking his head as the game gets back underway. It's the 13th set-piece goal Spurs conceded in the league this season, and Ange was rattled, let's be honest about it. Do you think he was being a more animated manager, which we haven't seen, because normally just stands there?
Definitely.
Or do you think because he genuinely was angry with them? Or, as Has said earlier, the pressure's getting to him? And because tonight in the press conference afterwards...
Bit of both.
Let me finish. Because also tonight, in the press conference, he did a 3-minute post-match press conference.
So it was only 3 minutes. I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's what I read on Sky. Is he losing his cool, guys? Is the reality of what is? Has he now realised these players are shit, and his tactic he needs to adapt?
But then you know what I said still whilst I was watching it, and he was nodding off. I was like, "But mate, that's your fault. You told him to zonal mark. So why are you not telling him to go man for man? You could have probably stopped the goal. I was like, why are you annoyed now? You're the one who sets them up like this. Don't get me wrong, our players are not amazing, but the thing with set pieces for me, this is just my opinion, right? You can take it how you want it. But I think it's one of the simplest things to fix because that's something you can practice with any group of players to set up in a certain way and try and sort the problem out, or attacking wise or defensive wise. But obviously I'm not a coach, so you can probably speak better than me about it. But I think it's one of the simple things to fix out of all the problems we have, personally.
I've got one more thing, Adrian. It can't be the player's fault because let's say you're a teacher, yeah. Let's say I'm the manager. If you don't listen to me, why would I want to play you? Because I want to have people that listen to me. So if I say you have to zone or mark, and you don't zone or mark,
Charlie, with respect, it is their fault. They're the ones on the pitch. They're the ones that concede the goals.
But
Now,
who plays them?
Question,
Who plays
you
them?
can question the tactics and what the manager has said to them, right? But Angie's not on the pitch when we conceded that first goal.
I have to disagree with you. You know why? Because if you set up in a certain way, and you saw the screenshot that Stel put up on the screen, you could see 3 or 4 people away from all of our defenders. Come on, man. He's told these players to play like this. What can they do?
Yeah, they're getting taught to play like this. It's not as if they're making this up. They're getting taught to play like this.
Adrian, Charlie makes a really good point, right? He
Yes,
says,
it's a good
hold on. His point. Listen, does anyone disagree with Charlie? If you're a player and your manager tells you to do something, you want to keep your starting position. So you're going to do what you're told, right?
I agree.
Yeah, you're right there, to be honest.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. I can't fault the point because they scored from the free kick and got the goal. So you can't fault that, right?
So then you're agreeing with us.
The question is like, who should be defending the far area, right? Porro is a short ass, right? He's not there. I don't agree with Neville that he should be the one to come across there. We should just have a bigger and better defender back there in the area.
But problem is, Adrian, with that,
But height doesn't dictate how good your wing backs or right back or left back is. I mean, there's been many great teams with short-assed wing backs or full backs.
Yeah, but I don't agree, right? You're talking about you're under threat from a corner, free kick, and all. I don't agree that you take one of your main centre backs out of that area, like Gary Neville said on Sky.
Yeah, but what did United do under Ferguson when they had Neville and the 2 Neville brothers, or they had what's his name, Irwin and the countless others?
Well, what did they do?
Oh, they just had players that knew how to defend properly, right? And make it difficult.
And we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Porro's not a defender. Porro's not a defender. Let's be fair about this, right?
I think we're missing the whole point, though. The point is, I feel like we're missing the whole point. The point is, Angie's not telling them to mark them people. It's clear that Poch told these guys to play this certain way. And if you saw it, there was 3 defenders. It's called, I spoke to a coach earlier. It's an overload. He said overload something, innit? Whatever it is called. And look, I'm not a coach, innit? They overloaded that side. There was 3 big defenders directly on that side. And look where the ball went. Right
TJ,
to them big people.
TJ, what your mate's telling you is an overload is basically when you outnumber the opposition.
Of course, it's 2-1 anywhere over the.
So if you've got 2 at the back,
even if it's when you've got a low block with an overload, you try to get out the low block with an overload rather than just hoofing the ball and giving it away in midfield. Overload, get away at the overblock, progress up the field so you get to the final third.
And the point I'm making, there was 3 big guys, nobody near them.
It's all
That's
about
because of zonal marking. See, the thing with zonal marking is you don't move into a zone to mark. That's not what zonal marking is.
It's like
zonal
an area
marking
you're
is
standing, basically.
Yeah, it's an area you're standing, and that's fixed. So if you notice it when we zonal mark, Van de Ven's always in the middle, just in front of the penalty box line, right? It's not like, oh, there's two players over there. Let me go into that zone. No, that's man marking because you're going to go mark a man. We don't have like a zone down there, a zone down there. Zonal marking is very compact. It's almost like here's the goal. We zone in front of the goal. There. The problem is that's always going to be free. That's going to be free. But you're not worried about it because.
So still, would that be classed as an overload?
TJ, but it's a case of we don't mind if we don't mark the zone over there because who's going to score ahead from there? But that's exactly what Chalobah did. He scored ahead from there, which is rare, but they scored it. So this is why I don't like zonal marking. It's got too many flaws in it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think even if you put
Fair
in
enough.
another, I'm trying to make a point to Adrian. If you put another tall player, you say about Dragusin, it's not actually going to make a difference. They're all going to stick in a zone. Yeah.
Okay,
No.
but Adrian, what's your stance on this
the
now?
biggest problem has been,
Adrian,
right?
what's your stance
We-
on this?
we've relied too much on the fact that, like, when we had success early in the season, on like
Yeah,
other
15-minute
teams
answer, Charlie.
making errors and making mistakes, we've capitalised them and scored goals. If you're a good attacking side, you make things happen and you score goals.
But
We
it
don't
still won't
do that.
alleviate the problem of set pieces.
And when we get to zone 14, which is basically the area in front of the penalty area, right? When we get there, most goals statistically are scored within about 30 seconds of you getting there. They're not when in the past, say under
Adrian, that's not quite true. Most goals are scored if the ball travels through zone 14.
Well, they are, but they're not. They're not when you diver still.
That's got nothing to do with set pieces,
Whether
though.
like we
pieces,
see,
though,
we even see it under Poch at Spurs when it came out to the right, and then the right fullback.
Adrian, that's got nothing to do with this goal, this set piece. Zone 14's got nothing to do with this.
Well, what I'm saying is we are too slow to make a killer pass or risk a killer pass when we are there.
But then you can't blame the players then. Your statement was blaming the players. It's not the players, it's the manager.
No, the manager's not on the pitch.
But the manager has set up this way. The manager set up this way, and in this way, he's allowed free players to be free. Well, that's my understanding. Look, again, I'm not a coach. Listen, all the coaches out there, correct me if I'm wrong.
I was a coach. I'm not a coach.
TJ's right. By the way, big up Mazzy's gone. But you're right. The same way we allowed 5 Arsenal players to be unmarked and then at the last minute run in, we allowed them to be free. That's what zonal marking does. You don't see the biggest issue with zonal marking is you don't know who you're going to mark until the last second. You can't prepare. That creates confusion, and confusion leads to pressure, and pressure leads to errors and own goals like Højbjerg.
We don't have 2 top quality strikers like we had with Kane and Son.
Strikers got 2 defending pieces.
Where opposing defenders, you'd give them something more to worry about.
No, but what I'm trying to say, the main issue was, you're missing the whole point. The main issue was there was no defenders in that area.
And that's because Ange Pascoli tells them to.
I'm gonna put it like, look, I'm not a coach. You're not a coach. I'm gonna put it coach proof.
You're talking
how
about
I saw it. There was no players in that area. So that's not down to the players. It's how they set up.
Hold on, TJ. For what happened when we conceded a goal? Or are you talking about when we're going forward?
From the free kick.
Oh, right. When we conceded.
Guys, I'm going to move it on. So we've gone 1-0 down. I think we've discussed it. Up the other end, just before half time, Romero had a header. He was slightly off balance. Some say he should have hit the target, but it just went wide. Romero heads wide. Do you think Romero could have done better with it? Or
Yeah.
Do you think
I think he should have scored, actually.
Yeah. Because I think to be fair to him, like I said, I think he's becoming our striker right now because I'd rather have him than Richarlison, definitely more than Timo Werner at the moment.
5 goals. Alex,
yeah,
5 goals.
because I think he's our best defender. I think he's one of our top defenders that scored the most goals out of all the defenders in the Premier League. I think is that true or not? Is that true?
Well, I think he could play as a number 6, but everybody gives me pelters for that.
No. Well, I actually agree with you there, Adrian, a little bit there, to be honest. But my point is that yeah, he should have done better, and that's and unfortunately, those sort of this is what I was getting fed up hearing about the derby, the Arsenal against Arsenal. We said, but we played really well, we worked really hard, but the fact is, we weren't clinical enough. That was the point. You know what I mean? You can have all the ball in your world, but if you don't do anything if you don't actually make any good chances and actually score your chances, it's pointless. You might as well just be a Brighton back in the day.
Ironically, Alex,
why
we're trying
is
to
our
copy
centre
Brighton.
back? Why is our centre back the one trying the on the end of most chances? It's
You make a good point. I don't understand it myself, but the point is, though, still he looks better than our strikers at the moment, and that is worrying.
But it feels like he wants it more. It feels like he's the one that actually
Van der Ven scored his first goal a couple of weeks ago. Sorry to interrupt you, Charlie, but scored his goal a couple of weeks ago. He had the feelers out for another goal last game. He was on the ruled off for offside. You know what I mean?
Our striker had the fewest touches on the pitch.
Well, that's why the 13 touches. I mean, Savil's absolutely spot on. But you can't say anything bad about Heung-min Son. You can't say anything bad about Heung-min Son.
But Richarlison, Alex, was the striker, and he was.
Yeah, and I know. But this is the point. But then it's like we don't give any chances to these players. We need to give them a chance. So, like I said before, I don't want to hear the excuses anymore because we were we said what was it? Vincent Janssen wasn't good enough for our club. Yeah, we said Llorente was not good enough for our club.
They weren't, were they?
We said said a lot of players were not good enough for our club. So why are we defending Richarlison then? Why are we defending Timo Werner then? I don't want to hear it. Sorry, Charlie. Back to you, Charlie, because I'm sorry to interrupt
They're
you.
not good enough. They're not good enough. And what we get all this with handball, what we get is like, we're looking for players that have got stamina, that have got pace, that are versatile. Yeah? Let's just hover over versatility for a minute, right? Saying Ange like players that are versatile over the front.
The centre back is the striker. Is that what you're trying to compare it to?
Really?
I'm going to put Romero at goalkeeper next game, man.
In my life, right? Now, Son, I know can play on the left.
Adrian just cooks himself.
Right? No, listen. I know he can play on the right. Remember at Wembley, when he comes down the right wing, gives Diaz the slip, Luis the slip, scores that wonderful goal. Remember it late in Leicester away when he cuts him from the
Adrian, that was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Curls the ball in. No, what I'm saying is he can do that in two positions.
No, that was 3-4 years ago. He can't do that
anymore. I know that has, right? What I'm saying is like when they talk about like he wants to bring players that are versatile, is Son versatile enough to give you like 80 or 85% of his game time throughout a season as a number 9? He isn't. Right? He can't play with his back to goal. Right? That is not his strength at all. But he's he's our best striker because he scored like 16 goals and he's good with his right and left foot.
But you just told me he can't hold the ball up and he shouldn't be playing there.
No, I didn't say that. I said he can't play with his back to goal. It doesn't mean to say that he can't hold the ball when he receives it.
Well, look, it ended 1-0 at half-time. The half-time stats, possession was equal. Total shots, Chelsea had 8. We had 1. We were like awful.
He's dogging it.
Passes-wise was pretty similar. Clear-cut chances, they had 2. We had 0. Or is this the end of the match? No, this is half-time. So the second half began. Spurs were actually on the front foot. We looked a bit better, more energy, more intense. Porro had a shot saved. The right back makes a run to the box and is found by Saar, but his shot from the tight angle parried away by the keeper. That was our first shot on target. 62nd minute. What an attacking Ange Ball team we are. And then madness. Triple Spurs change. Ange makes a triple sub. Maddison, Bentancur, and Højbjerg all come on. And he literally pulls off Saar and Basuma and our striker, Richarlison.
I didn't understand why Richarlison came off.
Well, maybe it's because of this.
Yeah, but if the ball's not getting to him, is it really his
Yeah, but if he doesn't walk in a place where he can get the ball, it is his own fault. If he stands behind a defender the whole match, I mean, like, he could have...
Go on, Charlie, sorry.
if
My
I'm,
issue is
if I'm a
Adrian,
striker,
no, let Charlie finish. Let Charlie finish.
if
Go on,
I'm a
Charlie.
striker and in the middle of the defenders, of course I'm not going to get the ball, so I'm going to have the fewest touches. Then he should get switched out because he has to be on top. He has to be on top of the game. He has to notice where everybody is. Looking at him
But
in the
then
match,
Son only had 4 more touches than them.
but Son didn't have an amazing game too. I mean, like we're not saying Son had an amazing game. Nobody's saying he had an amazing game, but and just
Maybe
doesn't
he's
top
thinking
out.
Son's got a better chance of scoring because he's got the top score in the club.
Can I say this, Charlie? Though, can I say this, Charlie? I watched Richarlison all game on after he came on against Arsenal. He did absolutely nothing. Yeah,
Exactly.
and he didn't make any runs, and that's it. Then
Well, he
his
did wind up the
adversary-
opposition. He wound them up, didn't he?
His adversary, Havertz, I saw him making runs. I saw him trying to cause problems, and he caused problems all game. And he was the man of the match of the game. Yeah, it's summed up with his game, right? Is that he put that ball after they got the ball back, Arsenal, and he put a ball right on the sixpence of Saka, and that was the second goal.
Yeah,
but that was Havertz. People thought he was bang average.
My argument, Alex, was like what I see first half. I thought up to the 35th minute when Romero had that header that he missed, which should have been scored, right? That the two players I thought that like out of our really poor performance were VDV and Basuma, and in the second half, I still thought Basuma. I actually see things from Basuma that I see from earlier in the season, where he's making themselves available and being in space to receive the ball and all that, and do what he does to break the press. And then like Ange took him off, and I thought, all right, I understand the substitutions. We're shit, we're total crap, but I just couldn't understand the Basuma substitution. Don't know what you guys thought, but that was just me.
I don't think if he kept him on, it made a difference personally. But yeah,
I think Højbjerg was rubbish as well. To be honest with you,
Højbjerg
when
was
he came on, when he came on, he made, I think I counted 4 passes.
In the first
4 misplaced passes in a row, or 3, 4 or 3, and he never got into the game. To be honest with you,
TJ, do you know what I wanted to see? Right, I wanted to see us bring on Dragusin, take on Emerson Royal, go to 3 at the back. Bring on an extra midfielder and put Lo Celso as an attacking mid with Maddison. So 2 attacking mids, 3 at the back. Be a bit more adventurous. We're more solid at the back with 3 proper centre backs than Chicken Royal, who's getting rinsed in the game. And then just say, do you know what? Go for it. And keep Richie on as well, and Son. But in the end, he just literally can change the entire midfield.
He doesn't change the formation ever, still. It's just always the same shit every game.
But he changes the entire midfield. And I thought if there's one player that deserved the chance to come on and try and change it a bit, it was Lo Celso. And like we mugged him off. See you later, Alex. We completely just
see you later, bro.
Yeah, see that, Alex.
We stayed up with Ange Ball. Nobody says, "Oh yeah, Ange Ball, yeah." Yet we take Porro off, right? Where's that inverted fullback gone? Emerson, what happened there?
Yeah, but
fullback?
at that point when he's
the
done,
inverted fullback wasn't working though. So who cares? Scrap it. It's not working.
Well, I thought he was a manager who's like just sticks to his system no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's the. But we're saying that's his weakness.
But look, one shot, clear cut chances 0. The system was not working. Like
no,
the
it
players
hasn't
weren't
been
working.
working.
It didn't. It was shit.
It hasn't been working for weeks, man. Let's be honest.
For something.
Last time it worked was
It's been months.
Well, it ain't going to work against Liverpool on Sunday, is it? So
Well,
it's
he made the
another
subs. Look, he made the subs, and then 10 minutes later, Chelsea got a free kick.
It was a great.
And it was a sensational strike from Palmer.
It should have
He
been a
left
goal.
Barrow for dead. Mate, it was listen. That beats any goalie, but
Yeah,
it bounced down. It came out, and the first player to react is the worst striker on the pitch.
Yeah.
How are we not reacting?
Let's
Where's
give
the second
Jackson the
ball?
benefit of the doubt. That header was a world-class header. Like the way I'm going to put my hands up. The way he managed to get up.
He made it look easy.
Yeah, I agree. I
have to give him credit where credit.
Having said that, right?
It was a good header, man.
Around, right? The ball could go anywhere. You know when your luck's out, right? The ball could fucking go anywhere, but knowing Spurs' poxy luck recently, what happens? Two of their players collide, Son and Oivo.
But then,
and they get a fucking free header in
but
there.
then Adrian,
I mean, like,
they're
it's just
both
poxy luck.
They're both supposed to be leaders on the pitch, right? Everyone says Højbjerg's the most vocal. Son's the captain. Let me finish. So someone's surely one of them needs to shout, or one or the other needs to shout at each other and say, "Leave it," and I'll get it. Because in the end, they both crash like this, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Adrian, when we're conceding from a set piece again, it's not bad luck.
It's just embarrassing at this point.
Good. It's not good, but it just sums up their fucking luck, basically.
But it's not luck.
It's not luck.
Listen,
So look,
guys,
maybe that goal, maybe like the Palmer's goal,
me,
maybe
right?
luck. We could say it was luck because they clashed with each other. It was a strike. Adrian, please.
Charlie, no, Charlie, just listen. If it wasn't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all.
What kind of tactical logic is that? Imagine your halftime team.
Guys, it's just bad luck. We're only
But you know what? You know something that I want to address? I thought Kulusevski was awful when he gave the foul.
He gave away the free kick for fun.
Yeah. He's been doing that. Look, I wanted to mention that. He's been doing that quite a lot.
Right.
This is not the first time he's done it. He's been giving away stupid fouls for weeks. And that foul right there, I think that was... I kind of lost my...
That is the worst one.
You know? I don't even know why he decided to, clip him.
Guys, what did you think of Basuma? I thought he deserved to stay on. I
thought he was having probably the best game of all the midfielders we had on the pitch.
I thought he was actually. And I had people give me pelts in my group and all that. I was thinking about it. I'm going like, well, I thought he did okay. Well, fair enough. If people disagree with me, I ain't got a problem. It's all subjective, isn't it?
But I think the thing with Basuma is you play like one style of play. I think Andrew wanted to switch up, and that's why I got Højbjerg in. It's not like I don't like Højbjerg. I think he makes.
And Højbjerg came on, his first 3 fucking passes was shit.
Yeah, but
and why is it our midfielders can't make a simple fucking 4 or 5 yard pass?
Yeah, you're right.
What is the?
I believe. This is my theory. Maybe I'm wrong, and you guys can correct me. I believe it's just too much for our midfielders. There's too much to think about.
Progressive, basically.
You know what I'm talking about? There's just too much to think about. You know.
You know what the problem is, TJ, and this is I think it's a fault in Angie's system. So, Adrian, I'm not blaming you on this exactly. But I'm basing on this or something you told me. You said Ange plays in 2 8s and a 10, yeah. So therefore, in this modern game, in my opinion, you have to play with the 6. So he's not playing with the 6, and you're making these 6s like Højbjerg try and be an 8, which is clearly not. Or you're trying to make Basuma try and be a hybrid. This is where we mess up every bloody time. This is why we can't defend. This is probably why we can't progress the ball, because you ask players you can't progress to progress, and ask players
he
to
has
progress
played with
to
a
defend.
6, 8, and 10. He has played with 2 8s and a 10.
This is what you told me. That's what I'm saying. There's a problem.
He has actually played.
Adrian, 1 second. I want Charlie to finish his point because you're talking and we all.
Sorry, Charlie. Sorry.
Right, Charlie, finish your point.
Now, what I was basically saying, yeah, with assuming you play one style of play, I think he wanted to switch up. I'm not saying Højbjerg is good because every time he does go in the game, it feels like he does risky passes or galore. I feel like he throws the game like twice. He has like 2 moments a game that he like nearly throws the game away. So I'm not in for him. But I say that's why we need to get a 6, like Paulinho or something. You know what I mean? That's why, because how we are playing, we're playing with 2 8s. Okay, I get that. But if we just get a 6 that can play progressive balls and doesn't have to go all the way up the pitch, just a bit more defensive, so our defense is more stable. That's what we need.
Okay. You guys see how well Romero played, right? Recently. Now, I've said it for a couple of seasons. We didn't have
Romero in the midfield.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to say, innit?
Look, I'm saying not as like a full-time position.
I mean, to Adrian's point,
as a temporary or experimental position.
But then I think you're playing there, Adrian.
I believe I still believe this. I believe Romero could play as a 6, and I believe Porro could play as an 8.
If he don't learn to defend set pieces, it doesn't matter.
I will say this.
Go on, Murray.
Romero, if under Pep, I could see the transition because he did that with John Stones. The transition,
That's fair.
Romero could transition from center back to a 6 if it's Pep or even if it's the Argentine national team. You could be able to permanently do that. But under Ange's system, I would probably say no way. Though, if you look at all the games this season, because we have not had an effective 6 all season long. Romero has been de facto playing in the 6. Watch the games. I mean, he's it. He's it. So he's doing 2 roles this year, and that's a problem.
And
so
he's a striker as well.
If we could get
Maybe
Dragons get a game. Then
literally, I said that the other day. He was playing the 6, the 8, the 9.
Murray, how does that help us when we are 16th on 6 pieces in the Premier League out of 20 teams?
Oh, I agree with you, and that's
well. Still, hang on. It doesn't mean he doesn't drop back into a back 3 and help when we have to defend set pieces. Say if you got
Romero's in the set piece line now.
Hold on. If you got DVD and
he's still zonally marking though.
If you're not listening, there's no point. If
he's
you've got
part of the team.
main event and you got Dragerson as your 2 centre backs,
but Adrian is still going to mark zonally.
Hold on. In Italy, when Romero played in the back 3,
this is Spurs revenge in the Premier League.
He would. Well, there's no point me talking if you're not listening, right?
But you're telling me things that don't exist. Talk to me about this.
Right?
Talk to me about this.
Midfield. To me, Romero's got it all. He's got it all, in my opinion. I think it's a fantastic play.
No, Adrian. Adrian. I agree with you to a point. I just think this is not the team for him to like I said. It would have to take a Pep Guardiola to be able to help set up that transition.
Okay, fair enough.
Not at Spurs.
Fair enough.
Not with Ange because he's defensively inept.
Yeah, perfectly way to put it.
Yeah, and so I would not want to experiment that.
Well, that's not a compliment. That is not a compliment, Danny.
Yeah, no, it's not a compliment. If he was on Man City, I could see that happening because, like I said, and I watch Romero a lot. I'm raised to be an Argentina supporter.
Mm-hmm.
He is still the best in the Premier League, progressive passing center back in the Premier League.
Yeah, but it goes back down to what Stel just said. It doesn't matter if he plays in the 8. It doesn't matter if he plays in strike. It doesn't matter if he plays in goal. It doesn't even matter if he sits in the stands. If set pieces are still the problem, we're still conceding them. Come on, let's be honest with you.
Almost a third of our goals.
I agree with you. Our set pieces are horrible. We had a good one with Conte last season. I mean, it's a complete 180. This year, we're garbage, and Man City is all started with Man City.
But that comes because we're doing a new style of marking. We're doing zonal marking.
If you
we
got
can have
Romero
the 8 tallest players in the world. We can still have the 8 tallest players in the world. But they're still
your centre backs. You've got your doggy.
Charlie, speak.
We can have the 8 tall. There's always going to be a gap behind us because how we are marking. If there's a fast player, he's always going to have a space. There's always going to be a space in between. It doesn't matter how many tall players we have. It's on the zonal marking. Seriously, we could have Jaragusin, Van der Ven. We could have Johnston. All these players. It does not make a difference.
I've got a question. Wait, this is just a general question.
Go on.
I know we're talking about zonal marking, but can that zone get moved to the left and the right?
No, it's like a zone on the pitch. I think. I don't think it works.
Right.
Because for what I was trying to say in that free kick, obviously, them 3 defenders were free. Can that zone get moved to the right?
No, they ain't a zone anymore. Then you're just
right.
TJ, I don't quite know it works, but you've got 18 zones.
You can move all the zonal marking.
Wait, I can't hear. I can't hear. Yeah.
I've dealt with it. You can move all the zonal marking. You can shift it across. Right. The problem is that has to be pre-planned. So when you zone or mark, the players know what zone they're marking. So if you see the opposition, so if you move to the opposition, sorry, if you set up to mark over here, but the players move over there, well, now what zones do you mark? Because
of course, makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
That's
Cool.
why man-to-man marking works, because you just go wherever the man goes. But when you zone or mark, it's like, this is my zone. I'm not leaving it.
Yeah, you're right, man. Until he changes that whole thing, they're going to be conceding a lot more goals.
Right.
Let's be honest with you.
There are 18 zones on a football pitch, right? From your goal line up to the forward area of the pitch to the opponent's area, right? So you've got 3 zones are actually in your penalty area, right? 1 in the penalty box and 2 other zones, right? up to the forward end of the pitch. Now, in front of your opponent's penalty box, that is zone 14, where most of the action should take place, right? But if you're defending that area, it's not zone 14 because you're reversing the whole situation. That is zone 5, right? But in zone 14, when you get to zone 14, it is proven statistically that if you move the ball quickly, not like, when you see us faff about on the right wing, move the ball over the left wing, come back over to the right wing, move the ball over the left wing. And all that fucking around the penalty area, right? The longer you take, statistically, the less chance you have of scoring a goal. So basically,
No, but we're talking about the free kick. So we don't even have the ball. They have the ball. The question I pose: can we move the zones? But I've got my answer. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Okay.
Oh, zone 14, we're like in lockdown now. Goodness me, we've got all these
I gotta
zones.
say is now, everybody come out the woodworks. Driving home, I'm listening to the show, but also I took a peek at some of the other shows, and everybody seems upset. Everybody seems upset.
Okay.
Things that we've been saying for weeks, for months, that we've been saying about this team, and now it's. I will say this. That Liverpool performance, if we get pumped by Liverpool, it's woo.
Mario, I think if we lose, if we just lose, if it's 1-0, 2-0, I think people are going to get angry now because that's 4 in a row.
No.
But we're going to lose though.
I get it, but if we lose 4-0, 5-0, and it could happen. I mean, as erratic as Darwin Núñez is, there are games where he's like on point. You got Mo Salah.
Does well against us.
You got Mo Salah. You got Diaz. I mean,
even
we could get pumped. We could get pumped.
Yeah, we could.
Listen, the game ended. We didn't really. I think. What's his name? Brennan Johnson had a good chance and he didn't put it away. But that was about it, really.
Didn't put one good delivery a whole game anyway.
He was shit, man. They were all. Look, we ended up with more possession, but this is typical of Spurs. 62% possession standard. We ended up having more shots. We didn't have as many on target. We had a lot more passes. But again, this is the key stat that comes up all the time. The opposition had more clear-cut chances. The XG always seems higher for the opposition. Look, in fairness, we lost. We deserved to lose. But look, guys, we go into the Liverpool game. Does anyone even look? I'm not trying to put it down on everything because there are some games to go. But does anyone care about the season anymore? Have we all checked out? Because I just feel like
I just wants to lose to Man City.
I'm checked out. Yeah, I'm just watching for content for like I was laughing watching the game. When I don't get mad or upset,
today, aren't we, TJ?
That means I'm checked out.
That's gonna be
I'm ready for Copa America and the Euros. I'm ready.
And you know what? You know what frustrates me? There's so many fans that still think it's gonna work. It just. I don't understand.
No, it can work, but not with these players and these defensive tactics. Those two things have to change.
We need some defensive tactics at least.
Well, that's what I mean.
None.
We need, yeah. Listen, guys, I'll go around quickly. Have your last say, and then I'm going to end the stream, Dave, because it's always been 4 hours. Some of us have got work tomorrow, believe it or not.
I've got to get up.
It's been an epic stream. Look, he comes right at the end.
Big up to you guys.
Where have you
You're all well-intentioned Spurs fans, so big up.
Cuba says we struggled in zone 14 and even one of the opponent's block or area 51.
Area 51.
Very good. Mari, let's have our final say, and I'm going to wrap up the show. We'll be back, by the way, tomorrow, Friday, 5 p.m. Pre show with Matt and whoever else wants to come on. We'll be looking forward to the Liverpool. No, we won't be looking forward to. We'll be talking about the Liverpool Spurs game coming up and today's events as well. Mari, your final say, my man.
My final say, yeah, big up. Yeah, the playoffs are starting. The Mexican League, Liga MX. Yeah. Watching that. Cruz Azul, come on, Cruz Azul or Pumas. Honestly, I've already said what I've said. I'm checked out. This team is not good enough. We don't have the quality. We just don't. And fast forward into the summer, the rumors of who we link to, it's not good enough. I like Eze. I would like to have him, but I don't like Gallagher. I don't like Lloyd Kelly. I don't like the rest of people we're linked with, and so it's just it's
to me with the Gallagher link, Murray. Now after what Adrian said about he wants to play 2 8s with a 10, it kind of proves the point that he does want Gallagher because Gallagher's more of an 8 than it. I don't think he's number 6.
Yeah.
But I don't rate Gallagher.
But that's the over issue, though. That's the problem.
Because we need a number 6.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
And so
I'd rather play Porras, mate.
It's a solid beast to protect our center backs if we're going to continue to play this high line, and so for me, I'm just checked out. I'm just done. I'm ready for this season to be done. The only thing I want to see, is Man City win the league, so I can laugh at Arsenal fans. But other than that, I can give a fuck about the rest of the season. I'm checked out. I'm done.
Mari doesn't give a mofo. Adrian, what about yourself? 3 games
Yeah,
to go.
I'm
You checked out, or you looking forward to
top
it?
4's out of it now. Let's be realistic. I think 3 points will get us 5th or 6th Europa League football because Man United have to play Newcastle at home, and whether they draw or one of those teams wins, it suits us. So I think we'll be fine at that in that respect. My look really has been even before this game is like the summer transfer window. What we do, that would be revealing, and it'll be whether whether our angst is increased after what we don't do in that transfer window regards getting rid of what I think we should be 13 players, which we're not going to get rid of in that window, and bringing at least, if we're going to have a real good season next season, at least 4 quality players. So we'll see. We'll see.
Hesper.
I think we're going to Charlie first. Okay. I kind of fed up with conceding the same kind of goals every week. I'm sure we'll concede another set piece on a Sunday. Probably Trent Alexander-Arnold assist to like Van Dijk or Nunez or something like that. Until we fix this issue, this project or process, or whatever bloody word everyone wants to use nowadays, will not succeed. So you can forget that. If Werner signs some Ange out like everyone else, we won't win a title with these players. I think it's delusional. We keep saying that we think we're going to win a title next season. And you can find me at Hesper TV, and I'll be with TJ tomorrow, Friday, 7:00 with Happy Feet Harry, previewing the Liverpool game.
I gave him that name. And Andrian, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna start calling you Happy Feet Andrian. Trust me. See, if we carry on streaming, trust me, you're gonna get that name as well.
Who?
Happy for Adrian. That's what he's saying.
Happy feet, Adrian. Happy
Oh,
feet, Adrian.
Oh, how sweet. How sweet, mate.
But yeah, so you'll find me and TJ on Spurs Kings TV tomorrow.
And I'll call you Happy Clapper TJ, yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
Happy Clapper TJ.
Happy Clapper TJ, yeah?
Happy feet, happy clapper.
Well, I might as well
days.
reciprocate, you know.
Happy Days TV. Happy Days TV. God has finished. We
Yeah,
finished,
so
you finished,
yeah.
Has, sorry.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, back to Houston, I'm done.
But to be on Happy Clapper TJ. What about you? What about you?
Listen, I'm drained, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just drained. I've already signed off. Let's be honest with you. The season's a write-off. And what can we say? We got Liverpool, the big dogs. Like, it's like, it is what it is, isn't it? And until he changes his zonal marking, it's gonna be the same shit, different day, innit? But like Has said, I'm streaming tomorrow. Man, I've been streaming every single day. This team is just this team is wasting my time, you know. Like, I'm gonna by the time I get to 50, 60, bro. I hope we win a title. That's what I hope.
Well, that's not 37 years.
We're all going to be like Adrian in our bathrobes, sitting here just trying to.
And you'll be like,
yeah. So also subscribe to my channel, Spursy Talks, and subscribe to Spurs Kings TV as well. And yeah.
Guys, do me a favour quickly. Who was on tonight's show? Spursy Talks.
Oh, Dan Hotspur Hood.
We had Dan. We had
Mr. Box
Eugene.
TV.
We had Eugene from
Eugene
Spurs
Spurs
TV.
and as always, TJ, leave you out, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, man.
We had
110%.
Hotspur Hood.
Mr. Box Office.
Mr. Box Office.
Mari, but Mari's in here now.
No, Sava doesn't have a channel anymore, does he?
Charlie.
How's you leave you out?
Yeah, I even went to protest with Stell.
Cool. All right. Cool. All right. Just so I can put the link after. Charlie. Yeah, what's your final thoughts? You've been called Harry Kane. You've been called Martin Joel. You've been called Alfie Devine. You've got like 20 different names.
Charlie, you've been called Levy in as well, like, you know what I mean? But
I've been called Levy in.
Right?
I'm being called everything under the sun. No, but
let him finish his sentence.
This was the first time I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be the first on the stream I'm gonna be able to finish a sentence, guys. I'm actually looking forward to this. No, no, like first says this was a really good stream. One of my favorite, guys. It's 4 hours. It's flown by. Started at 11:30. That's 3:30 already. I mean, like, it's been a good one. Second thing, yeah, the next 3 games, it's gonna be hard, but or the next 5 games, 4 games, we're gonna play against big teams. 4, yeah. Something like that. It's like Liverpool, we got City, and then we got Sheffield and Burnley. I feel we can still get something out of it. I want to play Europa League. I don't really care about Champions League. I think that's just going to be killing us next year. But that's how I feel about it. Let's just win like 2 of the next 4 games. I hope we draw against Liverpool. I don't want to win against City. So I actually to win 2, draw 1, and then lose against City. That's what I think is going to happen. And well, guys, subscribe to my channel. Hopefully. Well, Charlie Spurs N17 just did a video. Stell's on it. Stell actually predicted the score right. He said it would be a 2-goal difference, and yes, it has been. We've got Dave on that and stuff. But I'm going to start streaming in the next couple of weeks when I'm back from holiday because I'm in Croatia now. But there's stuff to look out for. But guys, thank you so much, Stell. Thanks for having me on. Had a blast. Man.
Yeah, big up, Charlie.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm just going to finish off by saying thank you for everyone for watching the show. Big up all the other channels that came on. I'm going to plug all their channels in the description box afterwards. Thank you to everyone in the comments tonight. You lot were fun. Big up to Callum.
Yeah, big up to the chat. You're fantastic.
Christopher, Dietrich, Stella Spurs, George, Christopher, CMO Sports, Jorical, Olu, Alan, Eugene, TJ, Wayne, Kitzler, and Jerome. Probably the most super chats we've ever had. Thank you to all of you for
that was
donating.
a good show. I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a good one tonight. The loss was crap, but and I'm just going to finish off how I started. 17 managers in 24 years, 7 football directors in 24 years, one new £1 billion stadium, a new training facility and academy complex, record income, new hotel, luxury apartments come in. Fuck all has changed because there's one thing we haven't changed. I am Levy out until they're gone. And that is me.
Loving the stats still. Loving the stats, right? And you in the chat, you're fantastic. You make
Guys, we're winning at life. Don't forget that. We're winning at life.
We're winning at life. We're out of here.
We're winning
Peace.
at life. We are. We've won. We're winning. We've won.
Wouldn't
be the same without Morris Rent.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
Charlie, you fucking egg.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.